What is going on, Casually FC? Welcome to another installment of the Casually Chelsea show post 4-1 beatdown by Newcastle. Accompanied here by the Bridge 258, as you guys know, Oliver, Real Chris, and myself, Marshalldbdx, on the panel. Thank you so much, guys, for being patient. I'm sorry we're late, but I promise you it's worth it, okay? We have an awesome show for you guys, but before we go ahead and start, as usual, smash up the like buttons because it helps out with the algorithm on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe. Thank you guys for subscribing. We did hit 2.3K. On our way to 2.4 and then 3K from there. So slowly but surely, we are making progress towards 3K. So thank you very much. Continue subscribing if you haven't done so already, as it does help out the channel tremendously. Also, hit the bell notification so you are notified whenever we do go live. Check out the links in the description below for our Discord, the my YouTube links and all that other stuff. My link tree down there, Twitter, Discord, Ahmeds Channel, Flawless, and all that fun stuff. Huge friends of the channel. Check them out in the description below. Leave a comment to let us know what you think about today's show and everything that we're going to be discussing. And last but not least, check out the memberships. There are 4 different tiers starting at 99p. It's the best way to help out and support the channel and keep the lights on here. So appreciate you guys who are members, and let's go ahead and get the show. What happened? This light back here, the blue light over there, all types of lights, man. Electricity's not cheap nowadays. You know what I'm saying? They stopped my boy Nikola Tesla from making it cheap and accessible around the world, you know.
Fair enough.
But it's all good, man. Let's go ahead and start off with today's first story, which is going to be the referees, guys. The referees need help. Okay, the Premier League refs need assistance, and how are we going to provide that assistance? Well, let me tell you what we found here. Okay, so Premier League referees are being helped by British Airways pilots to hone the art of communicating under pressure. The pilots gave a presentation to top flight officials as part of the drive to improve precision of language after the outcry over the chaotic communication between the VAR Darren England and assistant VAR Dan Cook and on the field referee Simon Hooper during the Luis Diaz disallowed goal fiasco at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on September 30th. This is ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
That's a mad like what's just been said. Like, so the British Airways pilots are like home, like communicating with what, the Premier League now?
No, they're telling them how to communicate during the process.
Oh yeah, because they're okay. You know, it kind of makes sense because their communication is very good. So yeah, it does make sense, but it's kind of mad still. Like, they have to ask like pilots. I hope the pilots are getting paid pretty well, you know, for their help anyway. So yeah, it's a bit weird. That is. That's taken me by surprise. I'm not sure why any of you guys think of that.
I hope it's not just like a PR from the Premier League to be like, hey, look, we're making steps towards better communication in these situations. We're trying to improve VAR. I mean, this doesn't go enough. Like, first of all, I understand that it's a you know. It's a very high pressure situation, right? I get that. But also, you have all the time in the world to actually like communicate I feel like communicating clearly and concisely what you must say, like this is offside. Like that situation was just absolutely piss poor communication. But most people, I don't think, have that difficult of a time communicating about like this is offside, he is onside. Like, I feel like you have the time. Like, I shouldn't say all the time in the world, but they have plenty of time. It's not like, you know, you don't get stoppage time. You don't add on the time that you spend in VAR at the end. Like, you do. You have time. So I don't know. I feel like this is just, it was kind of like comical to see this, you know?
It's a bit mad. Like, I understand it though in a way, because like the pilot people is top communication like level, like doing in the pilot level, like they all have to be right in what they do and what they're saying to each other. And VAR, they fucking haven't, I don't know what they're doing, they're fucking up. Like, you know, the Liverpool game where they said it's offside or something and it was actually onside, but didn't actually give the decision because the communication was poor in that game. But it isn't like super easy like in the VAR room, but like yeah, they have a lot more time compared to like pilots and shit like that. It's just a bit mad. Maybe it's a bit PR like you said, but
I hope not.
Hopefully it improves it if they actually are serious of it, because I would love improvement in VAR.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, anyone else have their 2 cents they want to add on this? Otherwise, we just move on to the next story.
I mean, look, if this can help, then fair enough. You know, clearly the referees and the VARs, they need all the help they can get, considering the incompetence that surrounds the game at the moment. But I just don't know that this definitely won't cover all of the problems. I mean, if you remember the audio they released for the Luis Diaz offside, one of the things was just you're talking over each other. Like, isn't that just basic manners, just to talk one at a time? Like, you don't need an airliner to tell you how to do that. So yeah, that's all I really have to say.
You know what'd be great? It's like they actually start talking like the pilots, when they're talking to their crew, the cabin and everything. Start talking like the pilots, when they're giving orders out in VAR, like to the referee or something. That'd be yeah.
Well, the fact is, we won't know unless there's like a really contentious decision where they have to release the audio, because they don't play the audio during the game. So you're not going to see like 99% of the instances where
you don't need to.
They're going to have to.
I feel like they should play the audio during the game.
They should. No, yes, of course they should, because then that removes all doubt. And there are obviously going to be conspiracy theorists that they released the audio 3 weeks later. That's doctored. People can theorize that because there's no evidence against it. Playing it live removes all doubt, but they're not going to do that because that would remove the layer of protection from the referees.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. Yeah, it kind of does remove the layer of protection, like you said. But yeah, we'll see where this goes. Am I okay? No, we're good. All right. But yeah, I mean, I guess to what Oliver said, this is a step in the right direction, I guess. But they're definitely. I think they definitely need. I feel like this is
is Marshall's like karma lagging.
Yeah, a little bit.
It is. I'm gonna next story. I'm gonna restart. I thought I fixed it, but next story I'm gonna restart my thing. But yeah, like I feel like it's just. It just seems so basic to me to be able to take your time to focus and come up with the decision. Just that Luis Diaz situation, like I said, you could have just said offside and onside. Like that should be like obvious. Like you shouldn't have to like, yeah, it's correct. Yeah, no, it's good decision. Yeah, whatever. Like. I don't know. He said it after the fact.
The reason why there is pressure, though, is because people on the outside, the fans and the media, they don't know what they want. Because 1 minute they want correct decisions, and the next minute they don't want it to take a long time. But you kind of have to find
it take a long time. It doesn't. You have to find a because at the end of the day, like you're gonna add that time at the end.
Yeah, but like I said, people don't know what they want. They want a correct decision until it takes 5 minutes, and then when they do it quickly and it's wrong, then they're annoyed about that. So they can't win. In certain instances,
it's just very odd to me. But okay, that's our 2 cents on the whole airlines coming in, the British Airways helping the refs with training at high pressure situations. The next story that I have for you guys is a very interesting one. I think we can. I think Ahmed, you might nerd out a little bit on this, but let's see. Let's talk about the AI scouting that apparently has been talked about. And I think this is interesting, but let's discuss. Chelsea have been open about their scouting approach with AI.io. 6 years on, the company launched an app last summer, AI Scout, where players can upload certain drills, which are then in the system and available to the 30 plus clubs in the network, including Chelsea and Burnley. Chelsea and Burnley are 2 of them. The remaining 28 are all MLS teams. I feel like this is good. I think it's a very statistical approach to the game, which I'm not too opposed to, but I feel like people say like when it comes to like finding talent, I tend to agree with this. It's a combination of stats and eye tests. And stats aren't going to be everything in the game. Stats aren't going to help you understand the chemistries that and link up play that you can build up with players, and sometimes stats don't provide you with certain things that are immeasurable in the game. I just hope that if we are using this, which I think is a cool piece of technology, I think it's a cool approach and it's definitely different. I think if we do this though, it needs to be a balance. It can't just be an over reliance on this. And I'll let you guys discuss this while I go ahead and adjust my internet issues.
Yeah,
right
while I'm in charge, thank you for letting me know.
Go
We're
ahead.
in trouble.
Ahmed.
We're in
Yeah,
trouble
yeah.
now.
You're not in charge, but you go ahead.
I'm just kidding. No, but on a serious note, yeah, when it comes to this AI thing,
Hmm.
excuse me, I think the problem with I think the AI is flawed in the sense that we're getting guys that are probably not cooking for us. So clearly the AI has not been working. Okay, well, I'm just kidding.
I don't think you've been. Yeah, I know you don't. I don't think you've been
I think for me, when it comes down to, of course, AI is rather important, but of course, when it, it comes down to it, though, AI, one of the big things about it is it's reliant on the data points that you are giving it. So, the thing for us here, what type of information are we feeding the AI? What is the algorithm behind the AI that is being used? So, what is it looking for in particular? Whomever is using, what's it called? Whomever is using it for. So let's say if he's doing like a running drill or like a speed drill, agility drill, a balance drill, what are the parameters there? What are we looking for? And let's say if you're looking for a striker, what type of agility and balance are we looking for example, right? What type of speeds are we looking at for them? What again, I think it just comes down A to the drills, B to the type of algorithm that's being used, and what the algorithm is necessarily looking at for any of these stuff that it's trying to do, of course. And then C is then, okay, let's say if the algorithm brings up the AI is able to bring out a couple of players, tells you what their stats are, for example. Okay, then what do you do from that? Do you look at these players then and then watch them IRL in game to see if it actually backs it up? Then we'll see. But that's the way I would think it would have to work. But the thing is, this has been happening for 5 years now, and
what does AI think?
Yeah, apparently it's been there for 5 years. 6 years ago. So
every club, then I'm guessing.
Yeah, so 6 years.
No,
so
it's 30. It's about these. It's about the app itself as the existence of the service.
Yeah, there's only 2 clubs that use it, Chris. It's Chelsea and Burnley. The rest of them are MLS teams.
But
Okay.
But the thing is, 6 years on, so 23 minus 6 is 17, if I'm not mistaken. And we know our 2017 transfer window, so maybe it was the AI's fault after all.
I can't lie, man. I doubt we were using AI.
We used AI.
But
yeah.
What
is Drinkwater good at? What's Drinkwater good at AI? He's good at like press and if that. Like I don't know what AI would have said good about Drinkwater. Fairness, like. I
mean,
this is the weird thing though, Chris.
Too. AI was not AI. I mean, Drinkwater had his he was a good player prior to joining Chelsea.
No, he was getting carried.
He wasn't a good player at Leicester.
He wasn't worth 35 million. He's worth like 20, 25 tops.
Regardless of the price, put the price
20
aside,
probably
okay?
tops. No,
price shouldn't determine if a player is good or not. Okay.
He wasn't good though. Like good enough for that. He wasn't good enough for Chelsea. No. I was so disappointed when I first heard that news. I think I was actually away still at
because you were disappointed. You didn't want him to, anyways. Okay.
No,
okay.
I didn't. I didn't. No, because I didn't think we was actually gonna use the guy, and I was actually like, But
you didn't think he was good prior to Chelsea.
I don't think he's like that good to be at Chelsea. Yes, I thought he's okay. I thought he's at Leicester City level. That's what I first.
He was less than okay when he came to Chelsea.
No, but like he wasn't like the big guy at Leicester. Nowhere near the level like Kante, Mahrez, Vardy, all those players. Even Maguire's ahead of him as a player in Leicester anyway. In general, even Morgan, if everybody remembers Morgan at that Leicester defence.
Oh, Wes Morgan, you mean?
Yeah. I forgot his name, but I just remember the last name Morgan. As the centre back anyway, he was more crucial over Drinkwater, I thought anyway in that team. But I was gonna say like I think this is actually a very good benefit like to clubs anyway to do because, like you said, Marshall, eye test is a lot. I think you should always do eye test, but seeing the stats on the screen, seeing what they're good at, like I think we'll see in the future, like 5 years time or something, see how good these youngsters are, because you know what we can't really tell.
We've been using this since 2017.
Yeah, since Roman then?
Yes.
Wait, really? I thought this was introduced with Infinite Athlete.
No, Chelsea have been open about their scouting relationship with AI 6 years ago.
Oh shit, I didn't know that. 6
years on. They've only launched that app now, but the other clubs have been using it before the app's been open because they've been using it privately and been working with the company. So that's why I say to you, bro. They may have been behind the 2017 transfer windows, man. The 2018 transfer windows. There's other costas.
Hey, listen, we need to get off that service in that case, then. Yeah.
Why do people look surprised?
We did get Kai Havertz. We did get Timo Werner, I guess. Chilwell now.
Damn,
but Chilwell
maybe it wasn't
better.
Scott's fault after all.
We got Kepa,
That I think with the Kepa story, by the way,
Higuain.
I think Kepa's down to Aspie, by the way, because Aspie did they said, "What's your thoughts on Kepa?" and he actually advised them.
Oh, thanks, Aspie.
I think if that's true though, because I remember hearing the story when it first happened when he signed first. Aspie was a help to it apparently. Kepa in his first season.
Yeah, great.
He did pretty good though. Come on, respect Kepa.
He's one of the worst signings ever. That's my point.
I would say Bakayoko's a lot worse, but
okay, yeah, say him as well then. Yeah, look how many bad players we bought with this
pretty
AI.
low.
Kai Havertz is down there too. Yeah, there's a few, but yeah,
Well,
I think we
Havertz
might
at least
be.
gave you a Champions
I don't know.
League,
I don't know with it then because we had it since 2017. It's not really helped us a lot since then. We haven't won the Premier League since then. Maybe it's our curse. We need to get rid of it. We haven't won the Premier League since 2017.
Maybe that's the number 9 curse ever since Costa left.
Yeah, we haven't won the Premier League since 2017, and we've had it since 2017.
I don't understand this though, because we replaced our whole scouting department, yet we're still using the old services. That's just a bit weird to me.
Yeah, that does strike me a little bit weird, actually, now that I think about it. I mean, again, though, it's a tool, right? So it's it's not going to make the decisions for you, but it definitely probably aids and diminishes down a target list.
It's definitely a tool because you can't. The big point there with that app is it said that it uses training drills or whatever. And I'm sorry, but if you looked at the training drills of our attackers, you'd think it was prime, MSN or Benzema, Bale, Cristiano Ronaldo kind of level of finishing. But that's clearly not what it is on the pitch. So it's like what Ahmed said earlier. You have to take those stats and try and see how they apply to a real life situation on the football pitch. We're using video scouting and eye test.
But again, I think the issue with this AI, it seems, is that we don't know what the input is. So, for example, ChatGPT, you can input something you can answer a question. Let's say if I wanted to make a CV, can I make me a CV for, let's say, a job at McDonald's, for example? It will make you a CV template for a job at McDonald's with its own, index where it has its hi, my name is this and right? But so you have the input that you know how the algorithm is gonna work. It works off your input and all of the input in a certain amount of time. However,
microphone
with this input, right? With this input, we don't know what it's looking for in particular. Again, are we looking for how fast this person is? What his agility is like? What his balance is like? Is this a FIFA thing where we're just looking at all of these different stats and then seeing if he's high in all of these stuff? We then look at him via the eye test or something like that.
And it's also not an assessment in any way of character. Exactly. I think that's a big thing. Character scouting is one of the big things that people need to look at as well.
We're just looking at tangibles, not intangibles.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next topic I had for you guys, which I thought was really interesting. I can't speak too much on it because I wasn't really paying attention to Chelsea too much when he was a manager, but I'm sure you guys were. So let's talk about Sarri. Sarri has some regrets, huh?
Well, he's a new fan. Marshall's a new fan, guys. Confirmed.
What?
Marshall's a new fan. You know what I mean? It's a glory hunter.
No.
I
took a break.
What glory?
Wait, what glory? What glory?
Champions League winner, baby.
What glory? I'm still here and we're in 11th place, I think, right?
I mean, considering when Marshall came back to Chelsea, the glory would have been the Europa League, for God's sake. Really?
And UCL. Europa League and UCL.
Well, no. When I came back, glory was top 4, and then the next season was Champions League. I should have just left after that, man. Yeah. I should have taken the high road after the Champions League.
You've done the Xabi Alonso meme.
Oh my God. Okay. So Mauricio Sarri regrets leaving Chelsea so soon. I struggled to fit into an atypical club at first as they didn't have a director and coaches didn't last long, but I had fun in the last few months and made a mistake by leaving. Not necessarily the Blues, which would have kept me, but the Premier League in general, since its beauty is unique. Coming back to Italy was an error. I think that's really interesting of him to say because he was homesick. That's apparently why he left, right?
Well, yeah, because the way our fans treated him.
Yeah, we treat him like he's a piece of shit. Like he's the worst ever manager. When the same fan base wanted to keep Lampard, I guess.
Surfs was probably one of them. Surfs, don't think you're
I like Sarri.
abolished from responsibility on this one. You probably want to.
Lampard literally took Sarri's tactics for that first season, and yet everyone lauded him like some genius.
Because
they
had the weird thing, right? They said Kante is not an 8 or who plays as a centre mid. He's like a DM. People kept saying, no, Kante isn't actually 8. He likes to be everywhere. And then obviously Lampard did the same thing as well. I'm pretty sure, as I remember. And I don't know if Chelsea fans didn't like his tiki-taka, like, one-touch pass, like ball and stuff like that.
Chris, I'll tell you why they didn't like him. It's because he is a charisma vacuum. Like, he has no gravitas. He's just a tactical manager, and like, there's no like box office about him.
What is this blasphemy on my name? I am the ultimate Sarrista. I wanted Sarri to stay for another season. I was actually very sad that he left us, because after Sarri, bro, we've never really had a style of play after him, bro. And I really liked the way he was.
Tuchel, hang on. Tuchel had a style of play.
Tuchel didn't have a style of play.
Yes,
Tuchel did not have a style of play.
What do you mean? Like,
Tuchel literally all he did was just tactically set up to whomever he was facing. That was literally it. There was no.
I felt like with the press and like the passing and
he did,
like,
bro. The next season, you talk about the press.
It wasn't. I don't think it's random with like Tuchel's system now. I don't think it's random like Lampard.
No, but Tuchel didn't have a system. Tuchel just tactically set up the team.
I thought
there was no like Tuchel. If Tuchel had a style of play, then we're seeing it at Bayern. We're not seeing it at Chelsea. He never had a style of play at Chelsea.
I felt like the system
actually it wasn't counter-attack. It 100% was not a counter-attack.
No, it was not. With Tuchel, we just kept.
We were one of the worst counter-attacking teams in the whole league.
We're under Tuchel. We never really did any counter-attacks. Under Tuchel,
bro,
we just kept
he literally didn't even tactically teach any of our attackers, because he believes in the attackers doing their own thing,
like freedom of expression and stuff.
Exactly. So there was literally no tactics going forward. There's no style of play for going forward in attack.
But we created a lot of chances under Tuchel, like in.
That's the thing. Those guys are bums. They still can't finish.
I know, but that's not down to Tuchel, though, is it?
No, but I'm talking. You're saying that he has a style of play, but that's not a style of play then, because if he just says attackers express yourself, then that's not a style of play, my friend.
No, like I'm not on tiki-taka. I'm saying like he had a lot of possession of like play and stuff like that, and he's like I don't know what to really call it name-wise. I don't know possession play. I don't know possession play. Like it's possession style of play. I thought that's why.
No, it's not. Possession is not a style of play. It's just a tactic. Teams play non-possession football.
So what?
Mourinho used to do that a lot of us.
I'm just saying. What would you say Sarri's and tiki-taka like style like?
It was he literally his style of play was essentially vertical tiki-taka. You hold the ball, hold possession, you make short passes essentially, and then the attackers essentially would kind of like essentially act as inside forwards, because you saw with Hazard where he would come in slightly inside, same with Willian, then they would make those short passes alongside, and then to get to the striker. That's what it was. But it wasn't necessarily.
I felt okay.
It was like vertical passes. His thing was possession, short passes. And what's it called? And like a semi-press. That's what it was.
Yeah, Sarri's system was definitely more complex than Tuchel.
I'm not gonna say maybe
Sarri wanted the shortest amount. Sarri, his thing was he wanted the from the goalkeeper essentially to the striker, all those passes to be reached in a way essentially.
But Tuchel also like playing from the back as well, like not like. Maybe not like Sarri, but he did like actually using the keepers playing from the back. That's why Mendy is quite bad on the ball. I thought when we tried doing that with it. I was gonna say with Tuchel, maybe it's just like more organized, like with the press and everything, hard to break and all that type of stuff. Like
we were more organized under Sarri, I would argue.
No, I thought we was, but I thought maybe with Tuchel,
again, the very organized team. Tuchel set us up only tactically. That's the thing. I think people don't understand. What we had under Tuchel and what we had under Sarri. Under Tuchel, he just had the players. All he did was set them up in the best way possible. He didn't have he wasn't implementing a style of play. He wasn't implementing anything like that at all. Like people
I thought his system was like possession play. That's what I'd call it though. But then that's
not a style. Possession. It's not a style of play, bro. It's not a style of play. It's a tactic.
You don't think so?
No, because there's teams that have that. Because again, if possession is just a style of play, then what? Everyone would have just.
Then there's only two styles: there's possession and non.
Yeah,
that's not. But that's not it.
No, but I already said like Sarri's
because again, possession is a tactic again for me. For me, possession is a tactic. Yeah, if your style,
it's like an ideology, kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, let me ask you then. What is an example of a style of play then?
Tiki-taka like Sarri's basically, or
So
Pep's.
a good example of that would be let me think. Obviously he spoke about vertical gegenpressing, for example, is a style of play where you literally your whole team is based around pressing the opposition, getting the ball and getting the ball, and then
That's what
essentially
Tuchel's did
playing
though, right?
counter-attacking football
Okay,
essentially,
no.
and then and that sort of thing, and in which you play the shortest amount of passes. And then, like again, and a style of play also is here where you are essentially dictating that every player has to play a part in the system. You know what I'm saying? So every single player has a certain job that he or she has to do in order for that style of play to work.
But wouldn't you say that Tuchel in the beginning, he did have a style of play, and that was the gegenpress. He had Mason Mount, Timo, Kai do a high line pressing, and we did that a lot, and we would dispossess.
The reason why I wouldn't say it's a style of play is because if it was a style of play, we would have continued on with that for a good amount.
Okay, hold on. I think he lost the dressing room though. That's the thing.
No. Because the reason why I would say that is because he didn't. The reason why I say he doesn't have a style of play is because he basically set us up here tactically with 6 players. After that, the attackers were not set up at all. That's why I always put it down to the attackers didn't really have any orders or information to do stuff with. The midfielders had certain jobs that he would give them. The defenders and the wing-backs had jobs that he would give them essentially. But other than that, our attackers did not have a job at all. That's the difference. With every style of play, your attackers actually have certain jobs to do. So your striker has something that he has to do for the system to work. Your wingers have a certain job to do for your system to work. Even if you are playing like a Cam, for example, or number 10, that also has a style of system that he has to work with as well. With the thing with Tuchel, you actually see it now at Bayern. He actually has a style of play. If you actually watch Bayern and the way he plays, that is a style of play happening in full effect. At Chelsea, all he did was set us up tactically. He set
us hard to like not be broken based on Champions League. You can't break.
I mean, he definitely set us up so we covered a lot of faults and deficiencies in our team. Like Jorginho had his deficiencies in the team,
exactly.
But he set it up so that he set it up so that Jorginho, like, we can make the best out of Jorginho. We can take the best out of Thiago Silva as well. Even you could even argue get the best out of like Chilwell and Reece James in that.
Oh, 100%. I agree with that, by the way.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like he did have a style of play that he was trying to adapt into Chelsea, but I think the attacking players started to fail him. Mason Mount started failing him. I think Kai Havertz started failing him. Romelu Lukaku not working out. That was a big, setback for him, I think. So I think it's not. I don't think it's fair to say that Tuchel didn't have a style of play. I think he did.
He was trying to. I would disagree with that one because at Chelsea again, he only had the piece that if we be honest, there, Tuchel only had essentially one transfer window because I don't really include the summer because the summer where we got Koulibaly all them in because he literally left up to 6 games.
Yeah.
You remember that one, yeah? So we don't include that one. He only brought in one player, Lukaku.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, we saw them.
So he didn't really have a start again. So again, this is why I always come back to. He was a tactical. He played tactics. He essentially played the team the way that he was playing against the opposition. That's what it was. A lot of the time, that's how we played against opposition. He looked at the opposition, and then he adapted the team in order for that to work. It wasn't that we were playing our own style, our way of football, and we're going to beat you playing our own way of football. It was never down to Tuchel.
When you say he adapted to other teams, like, are you trying to say that like he changed the formation? Because he never really changed formation.
No.
He stuck with
but personnel more so.
Personnel,
change some of the slightly change some of the tactics of the way that some of the players would play against them too. So that's what it is. So, but I think let's going back. I think my point has been made clear.
Going back to Mauricio Sarri.
Yeah, that's my bad bringing in Tuchel.
This is why he left, because we started talking about other people. We didn't care about Mauricio Sarri. That's why I left in the first, because fans like you.
But again, I love Sarri too, but
go ahead, Ahmed.
Yeah. I think for me, as I said before, Sarri was the last guy I again say had a style of play. I feel like for me, he was building up to something. I always say, sadly, the thing which killed him was twofold, in my opinion. Yeah, I think Oliver made a good point about like the devoid of charisma and stuff like that. The problem with that, is that I agree with him, but because for some reason we're in an era where when you see in club, or like when Pep was like, you know what I mean, celebrating these random stuff like no. And we had Conte before Sarri as well. He would be going crazy when he would score a goal or anything like that. You remember that, guys? Everyone remembers.
Yes.
Everyone remembers that. Like when you bring in someone like a Sarri, who's a bit more meticulous, doesn't celebrate as much. Like the only other guy I would say that we had that was similar to his like way was almost Don Carlo. When
Don Carlo doesn't celebrate too often.
Yeah. And the thing with him also, he had the cigarette butt as well in his mouth. He could have smoked a cigarette as well. Big up to him. But like,
maybe he smoked a cigarette in celebration.
No, but I always give the thing that I respected Sarri in the way he plays. Even when I look at him at Lazio, he does not deviate from his style of play. I personally believe, part of it also is the fact that we didn't really help him out transfer wise. The only guy we really brought him that kind of helped him out. We never
helped any managers transfer wise.
I know, but particularly with him, it was kind of worse because the only guy we brought him for was Jorginho, bro. Like Willian in his style of play was not going to work if you're being honest. Like Hazard, of course, worked.
There was so many. You had Marcus Alonso as well. That was never going to work.
Zabacosta, oh my god, that was another one as well.
No, but Zabacosta was bought for Conte. That was a old player that carried over.
Though. Yeah, that's true. But I think the point still stands that at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, I felt really sorry for him.
Who else do we get? We got him Kovacic on loan. We got him Kepa. We got him Higuain on loan. A good
signing for him, actually. You know what? Jorginho and Kovacic actually worked in his system. That's the one thing I will say that actually helped him out. They actually worked in his system. I honestly believe, if he had stayed the next season, maybe having someone like who was on the wing for us at that season under Lampard, was it Willian?
What on the right?
Yeah, Willian. And
it was Willian.
Pedro.
No, Pedro didn't really play that season.
Pedro wasn't there, or no, under Lampard.
Pedro didn't play under Lampard very much. It was only like the FA Cup he played.
Who's the other winger?
Pulisic.
Would be mounted on the wing for us then.
Oh,
yeah, you had Pulisic and Willian who was playing on the wing.
Yeah. I think for me, honestly, if you had Pulisic who had come in that season and he had somewhat staged fit, then he had Willian, and then he had Giroud. I actually think that team with Mount, the Mount the previous Mount, which was high pressing and doing that stuff, he actually would have been able to play quite well in that team. He would have been able to do Lampard's job, but even better, I would almost argue. But
imagine Reece James on the Sarri as well. Oh my god!
Exactly, bro. That's the one thing I always give respect to Sarri is that I believe honestly, if we were in year 2, year 3 of him, we actually would have been somewhere. Honestly.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I did it. I usually when it comes to like the more rational Chelsea fans, I hear nothing but glowing things of Maurizio Sarri. I never really got to watch him too much, like I admit. And guys, I'm honest about these things. I'm not going to try to talk about something I don't know about, so I let you guys handle this one. But listen, listen. If Poch doesn't work out, hey, sorry. If you want to come back to Chelsea,
listen. People can be glowing about him, but like one thing about him that like no one liked, he was very, very stubborn.
Oh yeah.
He'd always make the Barkley Kovacic sub at 60th minute.
Oh my god!
Every game.
I think
for me, I remember that one year. But the thing for me here is that if that is the case, then I don't understand. This is the one thing I also don't understand. Is how would they have if Pep had actually come that season rather than Sarri?
Oh my god!
How would they have handled Pep then? Because you know what Pep's like. Pep is also a stubborn bastard too.
Wait, Pep was already at City.
No. Remember, the club before Sarri were looking for the. Then
we was actually looking at Pep as well.
Yeah.
Well, we were looking to get Pep from Manchester City.
No. Yeah, but remember, this is the second season of Conte, if you remember. So.
Wait, before we went to we was after Pep before City as well, though.
No, because Pep came in the same season as Conte.
He did came with Sarri. It was before as well. It was John after.
Yeah, but remember, Conte. Before we were looking at Conte, we were also looking at Pep to come into the club.
Oh, right.
Because you remember he'd come out of retirement. He's like, okay, let me look for my next club. But the problem is, and I always say this, Conte was a stubborn bastard himself, and so was Sarri, and like we couldn't handle both of them for being stubborn.
Well, the thing is, the first time I remember Pep rejected us because they wouldn't basically give Pep what he wanted, control-wise over the squad, the transfers. He wanted a lot more control, and Roman and all that, and the board didn't want it. They didn't want a manager to have.
Pep would have had to have overhauled the whole squad.
Yeah,
Well, barring a few players.
You saw
And
at City, like straight off, like he even got rid of Joe Hartman pretty quickly
Yeah.
for Bravo, and Bravo wasn't obviously good enough, so he got rid of Bravo
yeah,
as well.
Pep would have took one look at Courtois and like, great goalkeeper, yeah, but can you pass? Like, not really.
Can you?
Oh my god.
How would you would have said that, bro? You think that's funny, but he would literally
That's
say that,
true.
bro. He
Hey,
probably would have
Bravo.
gone for Alisson a lot sooner than people think. We might have actually gone Alisson a lot sooner rather
Yeah.
than Liverpool if Thingy
Why
had
doesn't
if
it
Thingy
be
coming back in before in Sarri's first season.
But it's like what Chris said though. This is why Pep didn't join Chelsea. It's because he wasn't going to get that control. And the thing is, like, a guy like Sarri can be stubborn if he has the tools at his disposal. We saw it when he was at Napoli. We see it now to an extent at Lazio. But at Chelsea, he had nowhere. We had Alonso and Emerson at left back. We had Aspilicueta and Zabacosta at right back. I look at that. We had Willian and Pedro on the wing. Like, they were good servants for us. But beyond that, they weren't the best in the league. And you can't do much with that. So when you don't get results, when you get battered 6-0 by Manchester City, then yeah, people are going to turn on you pretty quickly.
Yeah. Okay. I think we're done with this. Let's move on to the next topic I have for you guys, which is a little bit of a follow up to last week's show on Kvaratskhelia. So let's bring this up. And
Don't
yeah,
let Vasifi see this.
What happened?
Don't let Vasifi see talking about this.
Huh? Oh, Napoli guy. Okay, never mind. So here's some comments that we got in regards to this, right? So according to Fabrizio Romano, I'm aware that there have been some stories about Chelsea having an interest in Kvaratskhelia, with reports that he's a player they really like, but I wouldn't read too much into this for now. A lot can change in football, and it's too early to know for sure what will happen. But my understanding remains that it's also not a concrete thing for Chelsea so far. Moving on to the next tweet. Chelsea have joined the list of clubs tracking Napoli winger Kvaratskhelia, who is valued in excess of 100 million euros. This is coming from ESPN, so maybe valid, maybe not. Then we continue. Fabrizio Romano again. Kvaratskhelia is not a concrete target for Chelsea at this moment in time, and they still believe Mykhailo Mudryk is the future in that position. So I do have a little bit of discussion that we will have about Mudryk, but as of right now, I would want to ask the panel, what do we think about the board basically, according to Fabrizio, putting their trust that Mudryk will come good and that we don't need Kvaratskhelia? I mean, listen, my opinion, my 2 cents on this, I do like Kvaratskhelia. I think this guy is a good winger, but maybe we need to be a little bit patient when it comes to Mudryk, and it's very possible that Mudryk can come good and he can be good, better, if not as good as Kvaratskhelia. So, I mean, I'm willing to be patient and give Mudryk time. With Kvaratskhelia, it's another big signing. I'd rather just focus on the striker and work with what we got and the left wing. What do you guys think?
I'm gonna be honest. I think Kvaratskhelia, he's a top player, definitely for sure. I think he's a great player. He obviously had a few down moments this season in particular. Not been great, even though I do know he's got 4 goals, 4 assists this season.
Still not bad, is it?
Yeah, but he had a really bad drop off from
last season.
March. From March of this year until end of October, essentially, where he was just cooked. So, he's only started to wake up now. But the problem, I think for me, the issue you're gonna have here is that I think we're gonna talk about this later, of course, about the fact that the owners need UCL football. If that's the case, then going for him probably is the right option. I'll be honest. There's no point of building. If you need UCL football, there's no point of us playing Mudryk then.
Yeah, for me, Mudryk, I think Mudryk's actually starting to get into form with Chelsea. He's definitely had great games this season. He hasn't played a whole lot, but what he has played, I thought has been pretty good. But Kvaratskhelia like last season, and he's starting to pick up again, like you said this season. If I was gonna pick between the two, I would have picked Kvaratskhelia, but like it's depending how much Kvaratskhelia would cost us as well. I don't know how big his contract
100 million
is.
euros.
Over 100 million euros.
Over 100 million euros.
Yeah, and the thing is, we need a striker first. Like I wouldn't turn my nose down to Kvaratskhelia because I think he's a great talent, a great player. I think he's 21 maybe tops.
Maybe 21. Let me check right now.
I didn't. Yeah, he's quite young anyway. Like he obviously came around the scenes like last season.
22.
He's 22. But yeah, like last season he did unreal. I thought like looks like a great talent, but I think we need to look for a striker first. I don't think we need wingers. Like we got plenty of wingers by the looks of it. We got like 10s as well. Like we just need a striker and maybe a goalkeeper. Like if there's actually a goalkeepers out there, there is a goalkeeper in my mind. But yeah, I wouldn't spend 100 million on him. I'd rather us actually go for Osimhen for like 100 million, whatever it's gonna cost, because he's a striker.
I'm gonna have to agree with Ahmed on this. Like, I remember when we bought Mudryk, the whole narrative around that was, oh, we didn't get Rafael Leao because we were putting our faith in him. So if we were then going to turn around now and go and buy Kvaratskhelia, that would just completely spit in the face of what the whole plan was originally. And of course, Kvaratskhelia is a better player right now than Mudryk, but the whole point of buying him was to give it time, because we didn't want to go for the more instantaneous option before with Leao. So I'm fine with it because it just shows that, you know, say what you will about the ownership, but they're not like flip-flopping here and there.
I agree with that, because it would annoy me because he's 100 million and we literally could have got Leao for like 100 million, so that would piss me off. Us actually just doing that. Like we went for Mudryk for a reason. He's cheaper and he's got like potential. I hear like he can hit the heights of like being world class apparently. But time will tell with that. But I just don't want to sign another winger. I want us to sign a striker. We can't rely on Jackson for next season. Just no way for me.
Actually, now that out of curiosity, Chris, would you prefer Kvaratskhelia or would you prefer Leao?
Leao, still Leao.
Oh, Vic, I'm talking about his performances from March to October. I'm not talking about now. He actually scored a few goals now. I'm talking about that he had a period for quite a bit of time from March and I think up until October, which you can actually check and look at, where this guy did not have any goal contributions at all. Like he didn't score, didn't assist, didn't even have like a key pass or like anything that could contribute to a goal. But like obviously that's why I prefaced that recently he's come back into form. So I did preface that previously, Vic. But again, when it comes, you guys know what I'm saying. When it comes back to it, if these guys want UCL football, you can't get UCL football with Mudryk right now. Let's keep it honest.
Yeah, he isn't good enough.
Cole Palmer, can you get UCL football with Cole Palmer, guys? I'm gonna be honest. No. You can't get right at this stage in time.
Midfield, I think is good enough for Champions League.
I'm not talking about the midfield. I'm just talking about right now. Yeah, I know what you mean, Christo. My bad, bro.
There are some places where we can, but like I think in order for us to get UCL football, we need a complete team, not an incomplete.
Like Marshall, in attack though, if you're being honest, Jackson is not UCL already.
Yeah.
Palmer's not UCL already. Madueke is not UCL already. Mudryk is not UCL already. And I would argue Sterling. If he's consistent, Sterling, if he's consistent, is UCL already.
I mean, listen, Sterling, even with his inconsistency, he was in that UCL team in Man City.
This season, he is UCL already. This season.
I think this season.
What he's shown so far this season, it's UCL like level.
At times, what he's showing, he can be UCL.
Yeah, games he's poor. I agree. He's poor.
He was poor last game, but I think overall, like you could say, yes, he is UCL ready. Like if you're gonna say Kvaratskhelia is UCL ready, then what happens with that season where he had a month of no GA or goal involvements? Oh yeah. You could take that form and say the same thing, apply it to Sterling. Then if you're gonna apply the same logic to Sterling, you got to apply it to Kvaratskhelia. So I think overall, Kvaratskhelia is UCL ready. He was in the UCL last season. He was very effective with Osimhen. And I think this season, yes, he had a little bit of a slow patch of form. But with Sterling, overall, Sterling has been good this season. So, I mean, that's the overall picture. We look at, you look at all the games and you average it out. And average, he's been putting up some decent performances. So I think he's UCL ready. But I agree with you on the rest of them. The rest of them too young, inexperienced. They're not hungry enough, which is why, like, I think 2 weeks ago we did that react video, and me and Oliver and Chris we talked about, like, would we rather top 4 this season or a trophy? And I think I said trophy.
Yeah.
And the reason is because these players need to know what it's like to win something. You know, I don't think they feel that same type of I guess accomplishment from just hitting a top 4. Yes, UCL football is nice, but at the same time, winning a trophy, it gives you that thirst for more trophies, and that's what I want. I want more trophies out of this team. I don't know if anyone has any additions to that.
But that's the thing, like this is the quandary we're in. You know what I'm saying? Like, where, you know, we understand that we're not gonna get top 4. I've come to that conclusion very quickly. But no, guys. If the current state that we are moving in, we are not gonna get top 4 at all. But the thing is, getting Europa or Conference League football is attainable for us. If we win that Carabao Cup, we get Europa League automatically. So there is, on some level, on some level, a way for us to get Europa League football quite easily, which is via the Carabao Cup.
That would be Europa Conference.
Is it Europa Conference? I thought it was Carabao now. No, I thought it was Europa League.
Am I wrong, guys? I thought Carabao Cup gives you Conference League and then FA Cup gives you Europa League.
Yeah.
Whichever one it is, there is a way for us to get Europa League football, even if we don't do well on the table, right? But we'll see what happens, man. But at the end of the day, man, it's not looking good, bro. I'll be real with you. Like, in the sense that Kvaratskhelia probably is a must-need right now. It is, if you've been honest. But, you know, but the thing for me is that it's all well and good bringing in Osimhen, but who's creating for Osimhen right now?
Say that last part again.
This is the real question. This is like the real question we got to ask ourselves. It's all well and good. Yes, Osimhen in January, 150 million. Let's break the bank. But then, if we're not creating for him, who's creating for him? Who's going to create for him? Honestly, Kukurea going forward is subpar. I'll be honest. Defending, he's great, but going forward, he ain't really providing you, any juices, any sources.
Can't disagree with that.
Huh?
Can't disagree with that.
Right? So that's one fullback. Reece James, since he's come back, he's providing you with some level. So he can provide you with something. I'll also argue Malo Gusto can provide you with something, because from what I've seen from him at Lyon and from what I know he can produce, if maybe Pochettino told him to be a bit more offensive, I actually think he would probably provide you with a lot more crosses into the box. You then look going forward. Sterling, as I said to you before, Sterling is a D&D character. You have to hit the 7 on the dice every single time, otherwise, any number that's not 7, if it's an 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, he's either shooting somewhere to the sky, or below that he's having an error, or he just goes into the defensive.
I wouldn't even consider him a creative outlet anyway.
Exactly. So even if we say, okay, fine, Cole Palmer,
like even at his best, I'm talking.
Yeah, even at his best. Then you've got Cole Palmer, right? Cole Palmer. He's obviously played really well these last few games, but again, this guy's young. We're not going to be able. We saw today, for example, against Newcastle. We've seen also against Brentford. Yes, he can create chances, but sometimes he's not also going to be able to be on it all the time. You know what I'm trying to say, Marshall? So there's him. In Nkunku, we're yet to see what Nkunku.
We've yet to see.
We yet to see, and what we can say, maybe if he's back to the Bayern, the RB Leipzig Nkunku, he'll provide us with a lot of stuff. But we can't just have a 1-2 punch and just hope for Champions League football.
Listen, I don't necessarily disagree completely, but I think if we do bring Osimhen into the club, there will be opportunities for him to do something. I don't think necessarily we're going to need Kvaratskhelia to make it work. I think we can make it work with what we have at the table. Listen, yesterday's performance was shit, but there was chances. There was chances there. And if there was an Osimhen, guarantee you, one of those chances would have probably been a goal.
But again, Marshall, I always come back to, you and I, we have this discussion all the time. Are chances being created? Yes. But how many of those high quality chances were created in that game against Newcastle, honestly?
Oh, Newcastle, there wasn't that many.
High quality, maybe 1 or 2, really. Not really many high quality chances.
Really, unless he scores that one, then.
But again, Listen, I don't disagree with you.
We talk about high quality. Okay, let's say you said 2, right? Let's say he scores the 2. It still ends 4-3.
I understand. We have more problems right now than just the attack, unfortunately. But, not looking at the defense, right? Because the biggest problem we do have is a striker situation. Our striker situation has not been helping, and it's something we need to address for a while now. We've needed to address it for a long time, okay? You could fix the defense with possibly dropping Thiago Silva. I'll just give you that. Maybe that's the solution. So when it comes to the offense and the attack, yesterday's game, it's hard because we're talking about Newcastle. That Newcastle, arguably the best defensive side in this league. Last season they showed it. They were good defensively. So they are.
I can't say that this season. No way.
Yeah, this season maybe not. I don't know. I have to look at the stats. But
they had Lascelles and Livramento in their team rather than their Botman and Byrne.
Regardless, though, but they're tactically a defensively sound side, despite what the starting 11 is in that situation, right? What I'm trying to get at is that, like, okay, you're not going to get too many chances against a Newcastle, but what about the chances that we had against Tottenham? What about the chances that we had against Brentford? What about the chances that we had against Liverpool? These other teams that we struggled against, the low block teams that we create chances but we don't put them away. Are you going to tell me that Osimhen's not going to thrive in those situations? Osimhen will thrive in those situations. And there are clear-cut chances in those games. So, sometimes you're going to have games like yesterday with Newcastle that we don't really create many clear chances because sometimes the other team is just better defensively, more sound defensively. I could say easily that Newcastle are probably more sound than we are defensively. So an Osimhen maybe isn't going to be effective in that game, but he's going to be effective in the other games that we're pissed off we didn't win. So that's just my argument, and I don't think we necessarily need a Kvaratskhelia to create those chances. And this is actually gonna lead me to my next talking point, which is are we treating Mudryk unfairly? So let me go ahead and pull up this tweet that our boy Harry Redknapp seems to wanted to say here. Harry Redknapp. I remember talking to Frank Lampard when Chelsea brought Mykhailo Mudryk. Frank says, Mudryk so quick, he's lightning, but he doesn't know the game. I'm thinking 90 million pounds and he doesn't know the game. I mean, he should know everything for 90 million pounds. I think this is such an unfair thing to say because one, he's not actually 90 million pounds. That's 90 million pounds if he accomplishes all of the add-ons in his contract. Secondly, the player doesn't decide what his price is going to be. So it's so unfair for... this is like what a lot of people in the fan base do and a lot of rivals do. They take the price and they use it against the player when the player doesn't even pick the price. So, like, I don't know. Do you guys think that this is unfair treatment of Mudryk? We haven't seen enough games with him. He doesn't start enough. We all know that he plays better when he starts than when he comes in as a sub. It's, I don't know. I think it is an unfair statement, and I think given enough time, given enough treatment, given enough chances, like we could see Mudryk do really well for this team, create chances like we were just talking about, Ahmed. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
I don't think it's unfair to say that he doesn't know the game. He's still a very immature player. You see that when he plays.
Okay.
I think Scott was angry about it yesterday, the way he was doing flicks and tricks in the middle when we were 4-1 down. That's not good enough.
Sure.
Granted, he is young, and we do preface that. But with that, it is true that he doesn't know a lot about the game. But what I think is more unfair that he had a manager last season that felt like he could talk like this behind his back, and a manager that didn't feel like that wasn't able to help him understand the game. Lampard did nothing to help this guy. So, I think that's really the more unfair thing here, if anything. The fact that he had to deal with Frank Lampard, who was talking like this behind his back and then not doing anything to improve him.
Lampard talked behind his back? I didn't even know.
Read the quote, Chris. This is Harry Redknapp saying what Frank Lampard told him.
I missed that with Frank Lampard. That's a bit harsh. Yeah,
Shine, listen. I don't criticize players, and I always try to kind of be complacent and understanding with them in the first season. Second season is when I start to be a lot more critical. Koulibaly, a lot of the signings that we had last season that were the signings for over the summer, I was willing to give them more time to prove themselves in this team. So when it comes to United players, listen, 80 million for Anthony. He's had 2 seasons to prove himself. Still hasn't done it. He's shit. We can go on about what other players. Listen, I don't really.
Well,
Mason Mount,
Sancho-
actually, Mason Mount. We criticize Mason Mount because we've had him for 3 seasons and we know how bad he is now. And it's shown at that team. So that's another player that we criticize.
Sancho,
Varane,
United.
never rated Varane really, but okay.
Varane
he's
was
done
good,
decently.
but the season was
He's
a
done
bit iffy.
decently.
Also,
at United.
Also, Manchester United generally have more money than us and also a bigger pool.
Yeah.
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 They should be attracting better players.
Yeah. So it's just like, I don't think I'm being unfair. When
Look
it
at
comes to
Darwin
United
Núñez.
Players. Yeah, Darwin Núñez just picked it up. He's been
80
better this
million,
season than he was
yeah,
last season.
euros,
Last
I
season he was shit.
This
But I was
season
saying-
ain't that great. This season ain't even that great. Let's be honest. When he comes to the sub, he's actually been more impactful. But when he's actually starting with Liverpool right now, he ain't like done that much really.
Al-
Alright, I don't wanna
also,
make this
I
about
just-
Darwin Núñez, but
I just want to address
go on.
Shine quickly because, talking about excuses for flop signings, when we were talking about Sarri, I just mentioned the fact that Kepa is one of the worst signings in the history of the Premier League. Like, you can't just gloss over that. Given enough time, you can come to those kind of conclusions. Mudryk's been here for less than a year.
And he's not had a lot of minutes, to be honest. Like even this season, I don't know what the minutes exactly he's had. I haven't actually looked, but like the minutes he has played, I don't think is that much anyway. Like he scored 2 goals, assist or 2 as well. He's created a few chances as well. I seen like a number. I don't know what game it was exactly, what the game we was playing against, but
Bournemouth was one. Yeah.
Was it where he created 2 good chances? One to Gallagher for sure, and Gallagher.
No, both to Gallagher, and he missed both.
There was both to Gallagher, okay, and he didn't even get 1 assist from it. Like it was crazy. Like there's some games where Mudryk just creates pretty well, and Mudryk's tracking back under Poch. I've noticed it has definitely improved as a player like that. So I think he's definitely improving under Poch. Maybe Poch doesn't want to overuse him, and that could be a smart thing because he's so young and inexperienced.
I think it's just the fact that Palmer's played his way into the team, and that means Sterling has to go on the left. I think that's what it is, personally.
But then again, you could say, Gallagher's been doing really well. But you could say, obviously, Palmer middle and Sterling on the right and Mudryk on the left. That's how I would want it, really. But for
Chelsea's
attacking
track record with signings would suggest Mudryk is a complete flop. No need to wait for the second season. So because of our track
we're going
record,
to
any
make
player that we sign is just going to be a
sign
flop.
him off. Sign
So
him off.
this is us now, really. Like,
Yeah, all of our signings are just going to be flops because of our track record. Even though Palmer
Shine,
for
can you
40
tell me how
mils is
Brighton
great.
got out of the? Shine, can you tell me how Brighton got out of the Championship into the Premier League?
Also, to address the 90 million, first of all, it's 60 million. 90 million with add-ons, and he's got 7 years to prove it. So,
Wait,
7
sorry.
more years or 8 years?
It's 7 years, and do you
Okay,
know
7
you know
years.
the requirements for it? Win Premier League, win Champions League, and be
Ballon
Ballon d'Or
d'Ors in
winner.
there too, yeah.
Ballon d'Or's like
And
a
on
little
top of
extra,
that,
extra
So this is
bonus.
just as bad as Harry
just,
Redknapp.
just to like paint the picture right here. In 7 years, if he's had 2 bad seasons, right, and then the next 5 seasons he's world class, am I still going to sit here and say he's a flop? So you got to look at the whole picture. It's 60 million for 7 years of a player. He's still got 5 more years to prove that he's still really good and belongs at Chelsea. So, and
I think
again,
if
we're
it's
not
two
even
more
halfway
seasons,
through the
4
season,
seasons,
and he hasn't gotten that much playing time. So, again, like I don't like that we hovered these price tags over these players. Like same thing with Enzo, which is why Enzo gets so much disagreement, like or so much negative attention to him. And it's just like these price tags are just looming over these players for whatever reason.
Also, hang on, I've got a better example than Brighton for Shine. How did Arsenal go from 8th place to a title challenging team? Because they were signing bad players before. So what happened?
They're still signing bad players this season, let alone Kai Havertz.
Well, yeah. But they've signed better players. So your history doesn't always define you. You can definitely move past it as long as you have the accountability within the club to realise where you're making mistakes and then you correct it.
Yeah, it's like
It's never impossible.
Martinelli, like even Saka, like coming in. No one really rates Saka.
Chiellini.
Odegaard, like another young player. What's it called? Tierney, but now Tierney's not made it. But it's also Shevchenko. I'm thinking another player as well who's quite young. They signed. No
Zinchenko is not young.
No. How old is he? 24?
He's in his mid to late, I think, right?
Yeah, he's older.
He's like
only-
26, 27, I think.
He's only really just started to make it, really.
He's been at City for a long time, bro.
No,
Yeah,
but at City
He started in the Champions League final against us.
Yeah, he's been
Like-
captain of Ukraine since back then,
Okay.
actually, since he was in
Okay.
City.
Yeah, he's about to turn 27.
I think he didn't he join the City in like
he's gonna
Pep's
turn
second
27.
season.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but Pep didn't really. I don't think Pep used them like. Okay, wait. Who did they use over here? Sachenko? Because I swear they didn't use.
I mean,
Cancelo and
initially
Walker,
it was
I
like
think.
I know Mendy was there before, but then
I can't remember who it was at first, but he had someone, and then he bought Fabian Delph from Aston Villa.
Cancelo played left back a lot. That's
Yeah, Mendy, Cancelo, Fabian Delph, someone else. I was Nathan Ake last season.
Why now they get rid of? Why now they got Nathan Ake at left back? I guess majority. It's a bit weird. I don't know.
But yeah, do you guys think it's fair that Harry Redknapp is having these expectations, standards for Mudryk?
It's honestly hard to say right now. No one actually knows how.
Can I speak, Mandem, if you don't mind?
No, you can
Go
if
ahead.
you want. Cut me off. I see.
No, you can finish.
Come on, Chris, finish it off.
No,
Pause.
Ahmed, he's got something important to say.
No, it's alright, bro. Go ahead, please.
I pretty much forgot what I was gonna say now at this point now.
What? How, bro,
Way to go,
man?
Ahmed.
No.
Oh man, you never had that in the classroom where you put your hand up and you forget what you're saying?
Nah,
Come
on, bro.
I've got immaculate memory, sadly. I actually do have my memory is very good. So one of the few gifts, my few latent abilities, as they say, you know what I mean, in D&D and RPG games.
Man, just say what you wanted to say, Ahmed. God
No,
damn
you
it.
know what? I don't have anything to say. How about that? No, I'm just kidding. On a serious note, though, yeah. On a serious note, is the comment a nasty comment? You can say maybe, yeah, it's a bit nasty to be bringing on these comments now, but the reality is, it is true. Whether you want to admit or not, it's a true and fair comment. Has Mudryk been improving, been starting to do well? Yes. Obviously, post his injury, he hasn't been doing so well. Off the bench, I don't think he really works off the bench as well. I'll be honest with you guys. Like, I don't know if you've seen it, his off the bench performance has been pretty bad. But when he does start, he does seem to be able to, do something about that. But at the end of the day, those comments are true. But again, it just comes down to, when whether you want to admit or not, these days, people cooking Grealish for 100 million. You're cooking people, Rice for 105 million. You're cooking a lot of people for the amount of money that they've been paid for. So,
Rice ain't getting cooked.
No. But when he was brought at the time, though, Oliver.
Yeah.
When people, I'm talking about the price these guys are being brought at. That's what people cook them at the time. But when they're not doing well, like in Grealish's case, in his first season, people felt like he wasn't doing so well. You saw the way he was getting cooked.
Yeah.
You see Lukaku.
I'm going to consider this in terms of the media because I'm assuming this is like Harry Redknapp talks to the media. Obviously, this isn't him just going on Twitter and saying this. Like, he's done some sort of interview.
I haven't watched Harry Redknapp in a while. I don't know where he's gone, but like unless he's on Sky.
But like I'm just talking about from a media sense. Like no one in the media is cooking Declan Rice. No one did cook him when he got sold for that money initially.
You know what though? I will
Not
say
as much as
if Declan Rice came to Chelsea, guarantee you we'd be cooking him right now. He could be performing the same exact way and we would cook him.
Yeah, because we're not winning many games. That's why.
Not even that. There's not. Yeah, exactly, Chris. There's actually not a lot of games to cushion the criticism, right? But also because this is the Chelsea fan base. We criticize all our players despite good form. We always have something negative to say about every player, and we always loom it over them. But I should say we. I need to stop saying we because I don't include myself in this conversation. A large portion of the Chelsea fan base. We have Ahmed with his Raheem Sterling agenda.
Oh, listen. For me, I play it off offense. You know what I'm saying? Listen, do I think that I feel like he's in the long term? I always say not so much. But whenever he does play well,
look,
you don't
it
see
was
me
a joke.
anything negative.
I hope
It was
he
a
stays
joke.
here
It was a
7
joke.
years.
But there are people in the fan base that you do it as a joke, but some people do it seriously.
Oh yeah, I know. That's real.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like there's always gonna be like something with a player. It doesn't matter. Right now, things have been a little bit hush hush about Caicedo, but I guarantee you, give it a little time. Just one bad game, and people are gonna start talking about Caicedo differently. And they still kind of are comparing him to Gallagher, and saying, "Oh, Gallagher's been the most consistent player in our team," and all that shit. Well, they're different positions. And I guarantee you, let's see what happens to Gallagher if you put him in Caicedo's position.
Look what happened in the two
then.
games that they didn't play together. Look at England and look at the last game against Newcastle. Awful.
Vic, it could have been because of Mount's situation. Could have been. But, yeah, I mean, time will tell with Mudryk. I'm willing to be patient. I think there is a good player there. If you use the eye test, you can see he's got technical ability. He's got something for there's talent there. I hate to say this. He's got the aura. Okay. Time will tell what happens with this player. Time will tell what happens with this player. If he's gonna do well, if he's gonna flop. I think it's too soon to say if he flopped or not. He hasn't even had a year at Chelsea. Talk to me, bro.
I think M3 makes a good point. Like the thing for me is, if we are gonna be playing him, he needs to be playing week in week out. Like you gotta make someone hold the bench. This is why for me, it's hard. This is why again, like we go back to this. I just don't understand what the school of thought was, of bringing Mudryk. If he needs week in week out treatment, playing regularly.
I don't think they knew. I don't think anyone knew, to be honest. Because
I'll be honest, they knew.
We took a big chance with him.
This guy was barely playing because of obviously the Ukraine and Russia war that taking place, right? And listen, he was already hyped. He's a wonder kid. He was a wonder kid on Football Manager. And if bro, this guy was barely had enough game time. So like you knew this already. So like this is the problem. Like you knew this. You know all of this stuff already. Why did we knew he had to play week in week out football. This is why, again, for me, even though, yes, he's playing now and he's looking good, I always maintained, the loan thing would actually, to Strasbourg, rather than it being Angelo, it should have been Mudryk for me. Because at least he would have played week in, week out, and at least learned his trade. Because then again, when he's playing week in, week out under Pochettino, he's actually improving game by game. That's what he needed, bro.
Yeah, but then again, like, it's so hard to say because... So let's say Mudryk did go to Strasbourg instead of Angelo. I feel like Angelo would have fallen under the same exact trap.
Well, no. What we should have done, we should have sent them both to Strasbourg, and we should have kept Charlie Webster at the club.
Exactly.
Made no sense to send him to wherever he's gone.
But the other thing too is that I feel like now going forward, especially after this Newcastle game, I think Pochettino is going to try to change things up a bit again, and maybe because I understand what Pochettino's approach was of, look, this lineup has been working, this attack has been working, it's scoring goals. Let's see going forward how consistent we can be about it and stick with it. So I can see why Mudryk was left out of the lineup for that instance. But now that we failed against Newcastle, I could see there being some chopping and changing.
It's not about changing the formation. I'm telling you right now, the only two things are happening.
Well, not the formation, but the selection.
No, formation. Sorry, I mean when I say formation, I'm actually meant to say changes. The only change that I can see happening, Caicedo coming back, and probably what Disasi is probably going to come back. He's going to bench Badiashile. Watch. He's not taking away Thiago Silva. We know that obviously Gustav has come in.
Ahmed, I think we said this. I think we said this before. We said this yesterday. It kind of depends on if Gusto will be available. Because if Gusto is not available, he'll have to play centre back across the whole back line.
He's back in training. He's playing regularly, so he's going to be able to start. I'm pretty
but
sure.
But the thing is, Ahmed, as well, we're not even confident that if Gusto is fit, that he'll get played. Like, look at
last
Brentford.
time he did Disasi, innit? He did Disasi
exactly.
And literally left Madueke. I thought so. Madueke. I feel so sorry for him. You know what I mean? Like, because he's another one. We're kind of basically failing him too because the one game he said, you know what, show you up yourself. He was getting 2v1 and he had Disasi behind him who couldn't even overlap.
Yeah, the other tough thing too is that this is where I do criticize the ownership, and Scott's 100% right on this. Like, what is the plan? Where are we going with these players? Why are we letting these players just sit? Like David Washington, Madueke's another one. Like, I hope that down the line it does make sense and the plan becomes clear. But like right now, like it's so unclear.
The plan is not clear right now, bro. I'll be honest.
Exactly.
This may be Ahmed Abdi being cynical, but the news yesterday has changed my outlook on the ownership quite a bit, bro. We'll probably get there, obviously, because I'm pretty sure it's in the news docket for you, bro. Yeah, but that news about the UCL has changed my outlook a lot, on what is going on at the club. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't know if we're gonna get there. I don't know if
we will. But let's see how your opinion has changed now with the following topic. Strasbourg not happy. So the Strasbourg Ultras have come out and expressed themselves as they have been before. But this time I think they have a little bit more validity than before. So money without competence doesn't lead to anything good. And the example of Chelsea, our so-called big brother, who have spent a lot of money but have had a vertical fall down the English hierarchy, is an important reference point. We don't want to incompetence the reins at Chelsea.
Also,
at,
I've got some big news for you, bro.
Strasbourg. Also, real quick, Blue Co aren't welcome and never will be. Strasbourg support to continue to protest against the club. What were you going to say, Ahmed?
Nothing. Don't worry. It's in the
Okay.
chat. Private chat.
So, yeah, I think Ahmed, is Strasbourg fighting relegation, or they're close to relegation battle?
Currently, I don't know, but they drew against what's it called? A big team the other day, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check quickly because I don't think they're in the relegation zone, but they did lose 4 in a row recently. They actually lost 4 in a row recently, by the way. So
Yeah.
But they drew against Rennes because I was watching that game. And they drew again today. They're currently actually in 13th. They're all right, bro. They're on 13 points. They're literally 2 away from the bottom, which is Lorient.
So you think this reaction is?
You know what it is, bro. They're doing a bit too much these days. You know what I'm saying? It's just that they,
So?
you know what these French guys are like. They just want to complain for complain's sake, and you know what I'm saying. That's all it is.
I was going to say, I don't understand this chest. Like they weren't in a relegation battle the season before. They're acting like we've taken them down here. No, this is where we picked you up.
They're on the same, but they've got a game in hand, by the way, to the person that's in the 16th, which is Lorient. They've got a game in hand on them because they've only played 12 games. So they're in good hands, man. You know what these guys are like, man. They're just gonna complain for complain's sake. So it's all right, man.
I think I said it when we last talked about these guys protesting. I completely understand the perspective of them, as in, being a secondary club to Chelsea. Like, I would not want Chelsea to be a secondary club to anyone. So the Strasbourg fans they'll obviously feel the same way. But at the end of the day, it's in Blueco's best interests to grow them as a brand and as a football club, and get them up the table. I just don't understand it. Like I said previously, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Like I said, we picked them up in a relegation situation. We didn't put them here.
Could be that, yeah. Listen, I mean, I understand where they're coming from with this criticism of the ownership, and very likely that even if we were still a top 4 side and competing in the Prem, there would still be criticisms. So I wouldn't be surprised that if this is just a bias they have against the Americans. I feel like
Americans have fucked up French football, so I hear it, man.
That's what I mean. Like, I hate to have to reduce it to this, but sometimes it really is just as simple as, like, you don't like Americans, you don't like that an American's owning your club now.
You know what, man? Fuck these Americans, man.
You see it all the time, like, particularly the way Gary Neville talks about.
Let's go backstage then, yeah? We'll go backstage.
You're going to say, Oliver?
I was just saying, like, you see it a lot nowadays, like, particularly if you listen to the way that Gary Neville talks about our club. First of all, the way he talks about the Glazers, what our ownership do is quite the opposite to what the Glazers do, but yet he absolutely, like, rinses our owners, even though they are they're kind of what he wants, but just not like they've not got the right name or the right whatever, Mm-hmm. So you see it in all lines of media. To be honest, it's not new.
Yeah. Okay.
You're right, Marshall, bro. If Chelsea don't break you, bro, like, it was last season. Were you not trained enough from last season? You know what I'm saying?
It's just new season, different problems. Different headaches.
You know what it is, Marshall, man? I've kind of like, after what happened last season, I feel like, anything that Chelsea does now, I've kind of like built up the shelf where it doesn't affect me as much. It just gets me irritated now. That's all it does. I just feel irritated whenever Chelsea, bro.
I gotta be honest. This is gonna be its own. This is not planned. This is its own separate segment. Okay, I gotta be honest. When it comes to our fan base, I get frustrated because I feel like prior to this game, we were all, Chelsea, like, we're looking good now. Like, maybe top 4. Some people even saying maybe we can compete for the league. Like, look at us, like, you know, we're doing so well.
I did not say that, by the way.
I know you didn't. I said some, Chris.
Yeah,
if the shoe doesn't fit, then shut the fuck up, Chris. God damn it.
That's a bit aggressive.
Okay, listen, Chris. I am gonna get aggressive right now, but then like, listen. It's just this is the frustrating part, right? We have one bad result. And it's a bad result. Don't get me wrong. It's a bad result. And all of a sudden, complete change of attitude. Complete change of attitude. If we win the next game against Brighton and Man United, we're back then. But it's just like, it's this flip-flop of like, Jesus Christ, like, make up your mind. Are you Poch out? Do you think we're gonna make it? Like, can you not understand that, like, there are sometimes we can just have bad games. We just have bad games. Wait, no, hold on. Let me just land. Sometimes we just have bad games. Like Man City, best team in football.
Yeah.
Bad game against Arsenal. They lost 1-0. Are they no longer in contention to and you know what? They've had a bad string of results to their standards. They lost to Arsenal.
Wolves.
They just drew to us.
They lost to Wolves.
And they lost to Wolves. And who else did they draw? They drew to another team just recently, right? Over the Liverpool. They drew to Liverpool.
But Liverpool good team.
It's not good for them. Yeah. It's not good for their standards. But are we having the same exact discussion about Man City? Like, oh, it looks like they're not going to win the league now. Like, I know our results haven't been good, but it's just like, I'm so tired. And I get it. This is part of being in the fan base, right?
City have just done a 3-peat. I don't think you can apply the same standards at all.
Exactly.
I get no, but like it's because of that 3-peat that you expect them to win all these games. It's not like their team changed that much. You know, they picked up Kovacic and all that stuff. Listen, I get it. The Chelsea standard is not good. I get it. But it's just the flipping and flopping and going back and forth, and like all of a sudden we have one bad result against a Newcastle, which is a formidable side, and all of a sudden, oh man, back to relegation form. Oh, it's all over. It's all this and that. And I'm just like, our next game is against Brighton, and we could easily win that if this team decides to fucking pick it the fuck up.
But Marshall, do you know?
And then all of a sudden the tune has changed differently.
This is an endemic problem. Whether you want to admit or not,
I know, but like this is the part. This is the thing with the project. It's growing pains.
No, but the thing is, Marshall, you and I, we can understand and we can get that. But the problem, you know, I was on board with a lot of what you're saying until the news I read yesterday. Because for me, the news I read yesterday,
I don't like it either.
That for me, it changes the game, bro. It changes the game a lot more than I think people have really understood, like, or deep in, like the way people are deep in it. Because I understand why some fans, like, are not happy because we brought a lot of these young up and coming talents. And maybe this season, it was growing pains. Yeah, it was it called a season of which, you know, we were looking for the future. Maybe this season is going to be Europa League, Conference League, right? But like the way we are losing against some of these teams, though, it's not due to inexperience, though, right? The way we're losing to some of these teams is not due to
especially when you've got the experienced players that are the ones making mistakes.
Exactly. That's where I think a lot of the problem comes in. And then part of it also is that especially when you're a team which has a rich history of winning, you know,
I get that.
And you've built a culture of winning. I know a lot of people. I saw a tweet the other day saying that, you know, winning is not a culture, but I actually disagree. Winning, breeding success.
Real Madrid and Bayern Munich say hello.
Yeah, winning breeds a culture of success. It is a culture of success where when you come into this place, what is the expectation is for you to be successful. It's not here just to play for your team and do well. It's here to be successful, win these trophies, and bring the club to further glory. That's what it is.
I guess for me...
and then when you have such a big thing that's happened there, and then you've had such a massive stuff happen at Chelsea, arguably, I would argue, post Sarri afterwards, this club has had the greatest of heights, the greatest of lows, and then the greatest of highs again. You know what I'm saying to you? It's been a real roller coaster for us the past 5 years, I would argue.
Oh, for sure. And I feel like right now we're finally starting to steady the ship, but we're in rocky waters. We were left in rocky waters. And as a result of being in rocky waters, and again, I want to express this vehemently, I am not happy with the results. I am not happy that we lost to Newcastle. I am not content and satisfied that we drew against Liverpool. I am a little content that we actually managed to draw against Man City because I didn't expect a result from there. And I am happy. I'm not happy that we drew against Arsenal. You know, there are results in this. Yeah, the way we did especially. I'm not happy with that. You know, this team could do better. But I would argue that it's because of the lack of inexperience that we aren't consistent, and we can't be consistent. And yes, I know the experience is what's failing us, but when one experienced player makes these stupid mistakes, there's another one to back them up. And that's why, like, I guess for me, what's just like not stressing me out, but like it's just like so annoying, and just like annoying to see over and over, is the attitude of the toxicity of Chelsea fans. Of like, we already have people, and it happened earlier in the chat, people already saying someone had mentioned another manager to replace Poch, and I'm like, why are we talking about replacing our manager? What is that going to do?
You know why we're talking about it, bro? I said, and I'll say this again. The news yesterday has changed the game. I repeat to you, it's changed the game. We're gonna talk about it later. Some of the other stuff that's been going on about us. It has changed the game. Like,
people, let's save that for them in that case.
We're gonna save it for them. But like, we need to be honest. Yesterday's news for me has changed my outlook here on the way the club is being moved now.
And plus, Marshall, I don't know if you have them saved up. We're getting briefings about Poch.
You're getting pictures now, yeah?
Whenever you get briefings, there is pressure.
You're now getting pictures of Xavi Alonso and De Zerbi next to Poch. Bro, it is like clear as day now what is happening. And like me, I don't know if I said this to you, Marshall, but remember, Marshall, I made a prediction to you, yeah? I think it was before the November break, about if we lose to these teams, Liverpool, Man City, or whatever it was at the time, yeah? And we are a certain amount of points away from top 4, or like UCL, or like Europa League, or something like that. Then Pochettino gets sacked. I honestly believe, yeah, if we reach a 10-point gap, yeah, for at least, in my opinion, Europa League, because we're coming on 6, then he's gone. I believe he's gone before. I am gonna say it right now. Ahmeds, Mystic Ahmed.
Ahmed.
He's gone before Christmas, bro. He might be gone before Christmas. There's something in my brain here. I don't want him gone. But I feel like if what the stuff from yesterday is true, then he's gone. I'm being
all right. Well, then let's discuss this when we get to that point, because there's no point in like bringing it up now and having this discussion. Because the next part that I wanted to bring up is just want to show some receipts real quick. Just
oh my god!
You know, let's put some minerals on this, okay?
Fucking minerals, bro.
I'm going to say that Wesley Fofana will be back in training end of January.
Huh?
No. This guy is
Hang on. Marshall. So you're telling me he's going to be back in training 3 months earlier? 3 months earlier than when he was scheduled to be back fit.
Marshall's just got that tingly feeling.
Just saying, I think there's a possibility that maybe he's recovering a lot faster than anticipated, and he's gonna be back by the end of January. I'm just saying, that's what I'm thinking. It might be a stretch. But why is he putting boots back on? It's just baffling to me. Like, if you're recovering,
Imagine just had to come back end of January, man.
That part gets me every time, man.
Ahmed just sort of lose it just before when he actually lost it. I was looking at Ahmed's face and he was about to lose it before it happened.
We got to bring this up, okay? Listen, I said back in training by the end of January, and he's back in training a lot sooner. So let's go ahead and bring up the tweets to show. You know, I had some validity to my reasoning. So, anyways. Wesley Fofana via Instagram, back on track. That's his comments right there. Then we move on to the next tweet. Chelsea announced Wesley Fofana's back on Cobham's grass, working to be back with the first team as soon as possible. Understand Pochettino rates Fofana highly as part of his future plans. Then we have Mauricio Pochettino says it's great to see Wesley Fofana back out training on the grass. And then Mauricio Pochettino on how long Wesley Fofana will be out for. I don't know. Someone asked him, or Scott Trotter asked him next year, and he said, yes, possibly. So, listen, Wesley Fofana. No, if you look at the actual presser, he does say, yes, possibly next year. So.
That was obvious, though, wasn't it?
So, again.
No, you guys make fun of me for it. I said back in training by.
So
By the end of
February-
January, which is next year.
late
So-
February for me.
So Marshall, again, as I said to you before, this guy's not going
Back in
until next
training,
season.
he's training now,
He's not
Chris.
coming.
Yeah, I
Marshall,
know he's training now.
Marshall's not going back until next season. Cut it out. Lock it off, man.
Wait, next season?
He's not back until next season.
Listen, if Chris can't support your argument there, then you've lost it, man.
No, he's not
No,
going back
no.
until next season. He's not going back until next season. What,
I can't lie. I'm agreeing with Ahmeds.
No.
I
Listen,
agree
again,
with him and
he's
all
put
that.
the boots back on. Oh, look, he's on the grass now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, something's happening now. Bro, he's just on the grass. That's all it is, bro.
Okay, I'll explain why. First of all, he's got to get in this team over Thiago Silva, who Poch clearly rates.
Okay, wait.
Second of all, he's got to get in.
Hold on.
It-
Let's just
hang-
backtrack real quick. I just
Okay.
showed you the video. I said he was going to train
And play.
by
like,
the
he'll
end of
start, though.
January. Train by the end of January, and you guys all
What type
laughed
of
at
training,
me.
though? What type of training, then, though? Listen,
Train
let's
with
be
the
honest
first
here.
team.
He's
Train
not
with the first
training.
team.
Right.
not training
I'm
with the first
pretty
team
sure
right
you
now.
said
Training
he'd be playing.
now.
Yeah, but
What the
Marshall.
fuck?
that could just be individual drills. That could just be individual training.
Hang
But
on.
still, how long
Individual
does it take him to
training.
recover and get into first team training after that? It's not going to take him that long.
Marshall, but you also said
Depends
I'm
if he gets a
pretty sure-
setback.
I'm
You
not-
know, we get a
I'm
lot
not-
of setbacks, don't we?
but Marshall,
This is assuming there's no setback, Oliver.
Bro,
but Marshall, can I? No, hang on. But Marshall, you already
ahead,
said,
Chris.
yeah. I know you said this backstage as well. You still think he's going to be playing in January, right? Like maybe not a main star. but
I
he'd be
think
playing.
he can be getting some playtime by the end of January. Now at this rate.
I
did
think
move
it'd
the
be like a
goalposts,
couple more,
but-
like a month or maybe a month after that, like after February or something. He might be like getting to the team like minutes or a Carabao Cup, not Carabao Cup, FA Cup maybe, or something like that. Because like I don't see him actually being a main star to like maybe even Ahmed says next season, because you can't rush this. You just can't rush Fofana back
Well,
like this because you don't.
He's
need to.
definitely not. Listen, I don't
Look
know
at-
what
Marshall,
Poch's.
look
Wait,
at,
hold on, real
your
quick,
boy
Ahmed, before
Broha.
you go. Real quick, before you go.
Right.
I don't know what Poch's plan is for Wesley Fofana because, like Ahmed just said, is he going to get in the team over Thiago Silva or Disasi? I don't know. That's tough to say. I think
Oh,
Fofana's
shit,
a
I go
talented
well.
player, but is he back to being the player he was before? And can he stay fit? So what are you going to say, Ahmed?
I would just say, look at Broha, bro. Someone that has had an ACL tear, he's literally having multiple setbacks. Every time you think he's back and played one game,
He's had one setback. He's really only had one setback, to be honest.
No, he's had 2 setbacks.
Has he?
Yeah, he had one earlier in the season, much earlier in the season, when he was meant to be back around about August-ish, but he wasn't there. And then he had another one.
No. That wasn't a setback. That was always the plan. He was training with the first team in preseason, but Poch let him stay back because he said he wasn't ready. It wasn't a setback. It was part of the plan. The setback was when he came back from Albania, or he left Albania early. That was one setback he had. It wasn't the summer. It was all part of the plan. That's how I interpreted it. I'm pretty sure that was the news too.
But listen, at the end of the day, bro, we need to just move on from this guy because he's not coming back this season. Simple as that, man.
One more chance.
He ain't
Not
coming
one
back,
more
man.
chance.
He might
No.
play. I don't know. Like that's the thing. Like I said, he's going to come back to training. Whether he's going to break it into the team, I really don't know, because I don't trust Fofana right now. I really don't. Like I think it. I remember he is a good defender, but I just don't think he's going to stay fit.
He's actually a very talented centre back when he's fully fit. Like
Thing is,
that's
though-
why I kind of was
Thing is, though, how does he play though? Because we're seeing a similar situation right now with Levi Colwill. He's out of the team. He's nowhere to be seen because
he
there's
can
not
maybe
enough
play right
games.
back if Reece James gets suspended.
Oh
again,
my God,
and
no!
I don't know about that.
And Gusto gets injured.
No.
Maybe he could be the third choice at right back. I can see it.
It would be better than Disasi, but that's like that's a mid off. Come on,
Yeah,
man.
he would be way better than Disasi. He's got more pace. He's better on the ball.
I don't want to see it still though, please.
I'm
I
giving
wanted to
Poch
join that.
ideas. I'm cooking for Poch.
You're just thinking like Poch, essentially.
Basically, yeah. I'm trying to get in his head. Because I see Colwell at left back, I can see Fofana at right back, maybe. I would
really
actually
don't
give-
think. We'll discuss this, but yeah, go ahead.
With under Poch, I would actually try to see Fofana get another chance, because with Poch, I see him with injury players, like he eases them in, he doesn't rush them in. I think he's going to do the same with Fofana. I don't think we need to rush Fofana this season. I think next season, where I think we let go of Thiago Silva, then Fofana can come into the team, start 11, because we invested a lot of money in Fofana. 70 million is, you know, a lot of money for a centre back who's barely played for Chelsea, because we've seen to rush him in maybe when he came back from injury. Then he gets injured again with the ACL, and ACL is just not an easy injury to come back from.
No, not at all.
But you can come back from ACL injury. It's like not impossible, but it's gonna take time as well. I just know that.
The thing is, though, it doesn't matter how much Poch eases him back in, because I'll ask all of you guys this: in what situation did Fofana pick up his ACL injury?
It was during training.
Training.
Yeah.
So you're training regardless of how much you're being eased back into the starting lineup. We just don't know with this guy. That's the problem. It's such a question mark. No one can be certain. Not us, not Poch, not even Fofana himself.
Yeah, but listen, assuming he doesn't have any setbacks, I listen. He's in training, and he's going to be in first team training. I wouldn't doubt it in a month. So, you know, let's take it slowly. Poch, I will say one thing Poch has done well this season is integrate players slowly, which we saw with Nkunku, with Lavia. You know, they were probably ready to go. And Nkunku's been saying he's ready to go since Man City, but he's been taking his time with them. So, you know,
Poch says you're not ready.
Well, I mean, this is the thing, but the players.
That's what I like about Manchester.
The players will lie to try to like get playtime, you know.
You saw under Lampard will just let him play even though when they say they're fine, when they're not actually fine, then they get injured again. Poch is an actual like, you know.
Yeah, Lampard fucking played Kovacic through injury. I remember that.
Yeah, Poch is like, he's not really. I don't think he's a weak manager. Like he would like stand with it. Like you like he's obviously desperate for like new players to come in, like not Mudryk and Cuckoo, you know, who could help his attack, but he ain't gonna rush it because it could fuck him over in the future if he gets injured again.
I don't know. It's just, listen, guys. Let's see if Fofana's coming back. Is he going to be in the first team? I don't think so, but he's coming back. He's recovered a lot quicker than we thought. Got the diagnosis wrong. Just like we got the diagnosis wrong in Nkunku. Dang.
I mean, I can't lie. I can't lie though. You say he's recovered quicker than we expect, but if you remember, Ben Chilwell recovered in like 6 months or 5 months from his ACL injury. So the time frame actually kind of matches if you think about it.
Wait, but I don't know if that matches actually, because Fofana's been out since July, so we're looking at do you want to count July, I guess? So yeah, let's count July.
Yeah, it was early July, so count the whole month, yeah.
October, November. Oh, I guess you're right. Yeah, so yeah.
Because you got to remember, Ben Chilwell got injured in late November, but if you remember, they originally tried to take a non-surgical approach to his recovery, so he didn't get surgery until New Year. So that delayed his return. So you have to count it from when he got his surgery until then, yeah.
Yeah, but also, wasn't Ben's injury? It wasn't a rupture, was it? A rupture, I feel like, is a very extreme injury.
Let me look it up.
Yeah, I don't remember. Torn ACL. Which, a rupture, he's had to replace his whole entire ACL for Fofana. I don't know. But hey, he's training. Mark my words, Ahmed.
Yeah, it's better than
1
nothing.
month from now. 1 month from now, he'll be back in first team training.
Hey,
maybe even sooner.
Man. Listen,
will he play though? I don't know.
Yeah, you have more chance of guzzling jizz than him being being fit to play.
Christ, bro, why you gotta make it gay? This guy.
I'm just going to let you know, man.
Let's move on to the next topic.
Yeah.
Now that I had my fun, okay. Got to put Ahmed in the mud. All right, let's go ahead, and Scott, to be fair, a little bit, but let's go ahead and talk about some injury updates. So we have 2 injury updates. Let's talk about Ben Chilwell first. Ben Chilwell has said he will be back in a few weeks and is looking forward to the second half of the season. He also has an eye on the Euros with England next summer, which I'm sure he'll be back by summer.
There's no way he's playing left wing for England. There's no way.
I would hope not. For you guys' sake.
If he only plays left wing for Chelsea.
I mean, between him and Rashford, it's slim pickings, isn't it?
Actually, yeah, I'd rather go left wing.
So the following injury update has been provided ahead of Chelsea's Premier League fixtures against Newcastle United. So this is prior to the United game. Trevor Chalobah continued to undergo his rehabilitation program. Ben Chilwell continued to undergo his rehabilitation program. Same thing with Carney. Same thing with Fofana, and then Lavia and Nkunku progressing with the reconditioning phase of the rehabilitation. So looks like we're getting some players coming back sooner rather than later. Not sure why Carney took so long. I don't remember what his setback was. I know he had one setback, but he's going to be coming back soon. Chilwell probably end of December. Fofana, hard to say, but probably back in the first team training.
I think that was
December.
either a report or a quote regarding Chilwell that he would be out for the rest of the year.
Oh, I don't remember that. I mean, Chilwell's saying he's going to be back.
He's going to be out for
weeks.
2023. He's out for
Rest of the year. Jesus, when you say year, I always think the end of the season. But yeah, I could see that.
This is European football, mate, not US soccer. All right.
But a year's a year. What are we talking about?
Terrible. This is terrible, baby. That was terrible, baby. You know what I mean?
Horrible jokes, man. Take that. Does England have a natural left back? Chile will make the squad.
Luke Shaw just returned from fitness today.
Yeah, Luke Shaw's over him. Definitely over Chilwell at the minute.
I could see that.
Yeah, Luke Shaw played against Everton today.
He did,
Oh, okay.
yes.
So there's that.
And Southgate loves Luke Shaw, doesn't he? So yeah.
No, but in all fairness, at the minute, Luke Shaw is. I would put Luke Shaw ahead.
Obviously he's better right now. I mean, I don't particularly rate Luke Shaw.
Yeah, I agree. I don't
But
really rate Luke Shaw.
I just hold it against Southgate the fact that Chilwell came off a UCL win and he decided to play Luke Shaw, and they were playing a wing back system, and Chilwell was actually good for that.
Oh yeah, they was. Yeah, that made no sense.
I mean, do we have anything else we need to add on the injury updates? I think it's all expected, really. December, we're going to have an influx of returns, I feel. So we'll see what happens. But let's move on to the next one. I think this is going to be an interesting one. Not sure how I feel about it, to be honest. But apparently we have a left back target, which good to hear. We're scouting a left back. Good to hear that our ownership or our board recognizes there's an issue with the left back, but I'm not sure about this target. So let's discuss. Chelsea HQ tweeting here: Wolves left back Ryan Ait-Nouri could come in to strengthen the squad and replace Ian Maatsen at Chelsea.
Why are we replacing a guy that doesn't even play?
Why are we replacing a guy that's not even that great? Can't defend.
Yeah,
not even that. He doesn't even play. It's like all these reports about, we're going to replace Chalobah. He doesn't play, though, so why are we filling a null spot?
That's what I'm saying, man. This is why, man. Listen, I'm telling you, bro. I'm confused, man. I'm confused.
Ait-Nouri, though? Is he good enough for Chelsea? I don't think so, but...
I don't know anything about him. I know of him, but I don't know if it's...
Man. The only reason why people know about him is because, he had one of the highest ratings on FIFA for potential. And I think also on Football Manager. That's the only reason why people know about him. That's literally it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know much about Ait-Nouri. I know he's been a Wolves player for a while now. I want to say the last 3 seasons.
Only two.
Ooh, wasn't he there 3 seasons ago? I don't remember. Listen, not the name that I would have ideally gone for. In fact, I don't really want to go for youth players anymore. I'd rather just go for someone a little bit more experienced. We need someone is solid in that position, offensively and defensively overall. You know, we have Cucurella, who is good defensively, not too good going forward, and now Chilwell, who is very questionable in that position going forward, and definitely questionable defensively. So, I don't know. JP says good player, but we aspire for better. Yeah, I can't disagree with that. So, or here's a thought: give Maatsen a shout after that Brentford game and how he just got bullied at the very last minute. I don't know. It could have been bad luck, but it doesn't give me a good impression.
But listen, whether that happened or not, he still hasn't been played once as a left back. So who cares?
Poch definitely doesn't see him as a left back.
No,
That's very
not in
fair to say.
pre-season, not in the actual season, just never.
And Matsson's still talking to company, by the way. They're in communications with each other, so there's a likelihood that Madsson is going to go to Burnley. And
Good for him.
When they get relegated, do you think he'd want to still go to him when they're in the Championship? Most likely.
I mean, it depends if he has if he's ambitious, he'd rather do that than sit on Chelsea's bench.
Well, maybe he wants to
yeah.
explore his options. Maybe there'd be other clubs after him as well, like maybe Premier League club. Or...
I do remember, Ahmed, do you remember when Dortmund had an interest at some point, right?
Yeah, they did. They actually were interested in him this season. They were interested in this season, but we did. Guess what? We rejected anything from them for an approach. But apparently, we accepted Burnley's 31.5 million on the transfer deadline day.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to laugh, bro. You have to laugh in it.
I also don't know a lot about. I mean, listen. My opinion, I think Alphonso Davies is overrated as fuck, and Theo Hernandez, I think he's starting to decline. So,
have you watched him?
Wait.
When's the last time you watched him? Whoa, we need to pause this. When's the last time you watched him?
AC Milan this season. I don't remember what game, but I don't know. He
didn't even
just
play
hasn't
AC
been
Milan
that
this
impressive.
season.
He hasn't played at AC Milan this season.
Yeah,
He's been out injured the whole time.
Alphonso Davies. Bayern Munich
Alphonso Davies.
Oh, I think you meant.
Wait, Ahmed, he said Theo Hernandez is declining. That's what he said.
Oh, Theo Hernandez. Theo Hernandez, though, with him. Oh, sorry, my bad. Theo Hernandez. All he does is attack. He doesn't defend. That's his thing.
Davis, don't he?
That's what I mean. Why do we like?
But that's the current left backs in the market.
I want a left back that can defend first and attack second.
We don't. What's it called? The thing of a lot of the top left backs that are available right now is that they don't defend anymore. They just attack, literally. We don't. But that's the issue.
Like why? That's the issue that we have with Chilwell. Chilwell.
Not really, because Chilwell's not giving anything in attack these days.
Prior to the season, I would say prior to the season, because like now we're seeing the deficiencies in attack as well. He's been so shit this season.
The thing is, we can sacrifice defense as long as your CB is good enough to handle like doing both jobs at the same time.
I don't think our CBs are there right now. I don't think Colwell is there right now.
Maybe this is why he's trying to make Colwell a left back, for God's sake.
Yep.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't like it, but yeah. It's like Chris. It's like what Chris was doing. I'm trying to get into the guy's way of thinking.
Alphonso Davies is still living off that Champions League, man. Like, people have been fooled that this man is just... Listen, he's fast, and he's got good pace on him. Going forward, good attack, I guess. But defensively, he's shit, and you guys are going to bitch about him. I already know. Everyone's going to bitch about Alphonso Davies. It leaves us weak on the left back side. I can already see it. I can already see it. So... And you probably wouldn't even want to pay however much Bayern want for him. And then when we do overpay for him, you're going to complain about the price and how he's not good defensively and shit.
He's no, not 50 M's, right?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't think any club that gets Alphonso Davies not on a free is going to get him for cheap.
Because I did see, obviously Real Madrid had been linked to him, and I think that was the quote, wasn't it? I think I can't remember if it was pounds or euros, but it was 50 something. 50 million something.
Probably euros. If I'm guessing.
I don't know.
It's two European clubs.
I stopped paying attention to Theo Hernandez. There was a point where I wanted him, and then he's just kind of dropped off a little bit. And I think it's what Ahmed. It goes to what Ahmed was saying. Just like he's just not good defensively, and kind of need our left backs to be good defensively, which is. I think that's just partially why we moved Chilwell to left wing, also because he wasn't very good defensively. So we gave him less defensive responsibilities by moving him to left wing and making him just pure offensive.
I mean, maybe.
Oh, we got rated by Staffy TV. Big up to Staffy TV. Thank you so much for the raid, man. Appreciate it. Hopefully you had a good stream yourself, my friend. Guys, make sure you check out Staffy TV. Big up to the Raiders. If you haven't already done so, smash up the like buttons, subscribe, all the good stuff. Helps out the channel tremendously. But big up to Staffy TV. All right, let's go on to the next story that I wanted to discuss. Is Cole Palmer. we have a little bit of details towards the Cole Palmer deal, and I wanted to discuss this briefly as well, if we have much to say, really. Listen, despite yesterday, Cole Palmer has been one of our best purchases this season, probably the best purchase of the season. Chris, you have a good night, brother.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, like the guy's been unreal for us. Like, there's no like anything wrong to say about him, but like I thought maybe like the game we played, there was like not enough like attackers like to support.
Actually,
him. Like,
I mean, Chris, do you wanna,
yeah, I was gonna
you
say
wanna-
like for yesterday's game.
you want me to read these tweets, and you have your input? Chelsea will reap all the financial rewards from Cole Palmer's soaring transfer value, as Manchester City did not secure a sell-on clause when agreeing with the winger's £42.5 million move to Stamford Bridge in the summer. And then the next tweet I have here is that Cole Palmer regarded a £40 million guaranteed payment from Chelsea as a good deal, given Palmer had only made 3 Premier League starts before moving to Stamford Bridge, but the 21-year-old has already made the fee look like a bargain. Chris, your thoughts?
I was gonna say, yeah, like this is why I will go back to like why I didn't understand why Chelsea didn't want him. Like he only had 3 starts in the Premier League or whatever for City. I didn't see it. For 40 million or 45 million, I don't know, but it says 40 million there. It looks like a bargain right now. I've been proven wrong about him. Like I've been told by like Will, Will, like he's a very talented player, young player, like, and he's definitely showing that. He's been pretty much spot on from Chelsea from the get-go when he's played. Like you can't take him at the club either. Well, at the starting lineup, like he's become one of our main guys right now. Obviously he's gonna make mistakes. He's 19 years old, like 19, 20. But yeah, like he's been unreal. Like 40 million is looking like a bargain since we sold Mason Mount for 55 million, and we sold Kai Havertz, who was on Mason Mount for 55 million on 1 year left, and then we sold Kai Havertz on 2 years left for 60 something million anyway. So he definitely looks like a bargain. Like the average player, like to me now today's market is like 50 to 60 million. That is like all higher. That's what you're looking at. So 40 million is a steal. We got Jackson for 30 million, and that's not much difference between the two. So you put in the same situation, like how much you spend on them. But yeah, proven wrong by the player, right? Happy wise. But yeah, bargain.
Big up, Chris, and thanks for coming on, man. You have a good
I'll
night.
see you guys later.
Layers.
So, I mean, pretty happy with the price that we got Cole Palmer at, and there was no sell-on clause. I mean, anything else you guys want to add on to this? I feel like we're just, we've reiterated this so often how happy we are with Cole Palmer right now. I don't know if there's really much else to add.
Yeah, I think it's just more stating the obvious. Really, he's been impactful for us generally because yesterday wasn't good, but that's just one game. The rest of it's been pretty spotless from him. I can't lie. So yeah, let's just hope he picks it back up against Brighton because we're gonna need that. Especially with we can't let this Newcastle game really drag us down.
Yeah, I agree. But okay, let's. You want to add something, Ahmed?
There's nothing for me to add on to that one, really. I'll be honest.
Yeah, it's all good, man. We just put it because the news was a little dry, and to be fair, we've been doing pretty good with it. Okay, let's go ahead. And another little bit of news that we got here is that apparently there's no Toney Talks, which okay, let's see. This is coming from Fabrizio Romano, so let's see what the tweet is right over here. Chelsea internally have not decided to open any negotiations yet with Ivan Toney and his representatives. They want to take their time before deciding who is the right striker to sign in 2024. So I think this tells me that we're not going to sign a striker in January. How do you guys feel about that?
Just see the
It's
news
not
today?
good enough.
What? With Oshime?
Yeah.
That's the target, but I don't think we're going to get him in January either.
But that's what they're saying is the target in January now. So they clearly are now looking at a striker to get in January. Even if it's not Osimhen, then probably I don't even know if it's Toney they're looking at after Osimhen. It seems that I don't know if you've got it in your news docket, but apparently they're now looking at bringing in Jimenez.
Jesus Christ!
Sesko and Victor Boniface now.
I mean, you know more about these players than I do, Ahmed. Are any of those other players really worth wasting our time over?
Again, the problem with a lot of these players, they're not ready yet. You know what I'm saying to you? This is like Victor Boniface. This is breakout season. Jimenez kind of had somewhat of a breakout season last season. This season has been continuing on that trajectory. Sesko barely plays at RB Leipzig because you've got a Pender there that's a starter.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think
that's what I mean too. Like it's just like this is the same trend that we had with Nicholas Jackson. Like we got Nicholas Jackson because he picked it up. He came back from injury, scored 6 goals in 5 games or something. What was it?
No, it was 11 goals for the rest of the season essentially.
Goddamn, it's still good. So that's just like it was trending upwards. And listen, like I say what I want about my frustrations with Nicholas Jackson, right? But I gotta give him credit. He's got 6 goals so far this season. So I mean, we hope that he keeps going in that sense, and maybe he gets 10 goals this season at least. But I don't know, like, why waste our time with these other Boniface and Jimenez and the other player you mentioned? I'm sorry, what was his name?
Sesko, Boniface, and Jimenez.
Yeah. So like, I don't know, man. It just seems like a waste of time. Like, either go for these big name signings or just don't even bother. I don't know.
Yeah, that's where I'm at, because like the whole point of this is that we're supposed to be getting someone that was either experienced, proven, or both, and none of those guys fit that criteria.
Yeah,
again,
really...
it goes back to what we'll get to that one.
Okay, let's but that's pretty much where we're at with this. So let's see what happens with this news. Fabrizio Romano coming out where we're not even negotiating for Ivan Toney. That might change in January. Who knows? But
big up to Joey. These players, Chelsea have got a meaty. Reece James, I think that's Reece James, Sterling, Palmer, Chile. Is it Caicedo that he's saying there? I'm assuming that's Caicedo.
Yeah. Are the only elite players resting?
Chilwell's not elite.
Not sure about Chilwell.
When was the last time you saw Chilwell?
even for me, like Caicedo, I wouldn't even put Caicedo, or even Enzo that current or Palmer.
Your mic,
bro.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Caicedo, Enzo, and what's it called? Palmer. I wouldn't add into that. So we've only got really 2 players that I think are really good. Because there are all of these other guys that we talk about in the rest of the team. They're either guys that need that have a high potential that need to be unlocked and given time. That's all it is.
I mean, Caicedo hasn't been very standout in the last 2 games, but I feel like overall, since the first 2 games after that, Caicedo's been pretty lukewarm. Yeah. I mean, he's had some brilliant games, I would say. Definitely had at least 2 games where we can talk about him potentially being man of the match. But I think it's still too early, and there's still time to figure out where we stand with Caicedo. But I think he'll come right.
Vic makes my point as well, in the sense that with Boniface and Jimenez, it's too early for them right now. This is the point I mean. You come into Chelsea, you need to bang essentially at this point, because we know the reason why. Because he's spoken about it.
Fair enough. Okay, so speaking of coming to Chelsea and just bang, this is a player that did definitely come to Chelsea and kick off, but didn't have the best performance yesterday. But there has been a little bit of an update in regards to where he stands in the transfer market, and it's Badiashile. So a little bit of news that came out from Bobby Vincent. Benoit Badiashile would not be leaving Chelsea anytime soon. This is in response to news that essentially AC Milan were interested in Malang Sarr and Benoit Badiashile that we discussed last week. I think it's safe to say that most of us are pretty content with this news. I don't know if anyone... I mean, obviously, he can't have games like he did yesterday going forward. Otherwise,
that's reactionary, though.
Yeah, that is reactionary, obviously. But, like, I think safe to say, like, we're pretty content with this. And I don't think any of us really believed he was going to go to AC Milan. Unless, Ahmed, conspiracy theory, tinfoil hat Ahmed, it's still...
No. My conspiracy theory is correct, and you can.
No, they're not.
Listen, there's a reason why my boy Madueke is not playing, and you know why, man. That's all it is. Listen,
Let's have it right.
Listen, that guy has not touched the ball at all. Let's be real, man.
You're about to say he's not been touched. I would have had a. Hey, man.
Man, you need to chill out, broski.
Okay. Let's continue on with the show. Apparently, and you guys are not going to be happy with this, so let's go to this. Apparently, the Chelsea ownership is content with our keepers, which I don't agree with. And this is coming from David Ornstein.
Can we talk about the main one, please? Like, can we get to the main topic, bro?
We will. We're close. We're getting there. We're getting really
I
close.
feel like all of the stuff that you're talking about, yeah, connects to that one main topic. Honestly, for me, I don't know about you.
Okay,
Bro.
I understand. We'll work our way there. We're almost there. We're literally like 2 topics away. Okay. Chelsea are happy with their current pair of senior goalkeepers in Robert Sanchez and Georgi Petrovic, and there are no plans to sign a new number 1 keeper in the near future. Annoyed?
I just don't know, bro. I've never seen this guy, Georgi Petrovic, you know what I mean, in a Chelsea shirt. I don't even know.
How do you know that he's good enough?
I've never seen him. I don't even know if he exists.
That's really it, really.
Yo, come on, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean,
Listen, and then you obviously got, what's his name?
good.
Rob Sanchez, man. Strictly Come Dancing 2024. Here we go, man. I'm telling you, man. He's going to Strictly. Dancing on Ice. Was it you guys? What's the one? That's the thing you call in the US? Dancing of the Stars. You know,
Dancing with the Stars.
That's what he's coming, bro. He's coming to bro. The splits that he was doing.
after some of his performance in Dancing in the Stars, you just hear like some hey, there you go, Robert Sanchez. The Sassy hasn't been shit. Hold on. The Sassy has not been shit.
He's been our best centre back this season. Hold that.
I'll be honest, bro. Disasi's not been our worst player, Joey. He's actually been the most competent out of all of the defenders. I'll be honest, the most competent.
Hey, listen, Joey. Yesterday we lost 4-1, and Disasi was nowhere to be found in that lineup. So you can't even blame him for that.
So our worst defeat this season, if I'm correct, right?
Oh yeah.
Well, not by scoreline.
He's
by
still
scoreline.
shite. Why? Because he's slow, or he looks like a bozo? I don't know. Like Jesus Christ, these people.
I said it on Twitter, by the way. What they do with the Sassy, they see that he's a big, tall guy, and they give him the stigma of Lenny Small of Mice and Men.
Oh my.
That's what they do. That's what they do.
That's exactly spot on. Actually, I think that's what it is. Listen,
It's that it's that all.
You know what?
I'll explain it. It's that like all brawn, no brains kind of thing.
Yeah, he does. Listen. I'm not gonna lie, guys. Like, he does give off that vibe, and I was really nervous with him in the beginning, but he's proven me wrong. He's been pretty consistent. Like, he's got that same vibe that you would think. Remember Alex? I'm interested to see what the Chelsea fan base would have thought of Alex if the Twitter existed back then, right? Like, they probably would have thought Alex was like, this guy's a meathead. He's gonna be erratic and just no good choice. This guy's shit. But Alex was a good servant of the club. Alex was pretty good for us when he came on, and whenever Carvalho was out injured, you would have Alex fill in the role. Like, Alex was pretty good for Chelsea. So I mean, overall, consensus will be determined at the end of the season, but like, I'm not complaining about Disasi. I think Disasi will come good. But okay, we'll come back to the Sanchez topic, but I'm not happy with this. Listen, I think Sanchez is an improvement on Kepa. Is he the world-class keeper that I want to settle on? No, I'm not happy that we gave him a 7-year contract. I don't think I don't see his ceiling being much higher than what it is right now. I think he's been good for us for the most part this season, but I much rather go for a world-class keeper still. I want someone that I know like gives me that confidence, and he doesn't really give me that confidence, especially with his on the ball ability. But let's continue on to the next topic I had for you guys, which is let's discuss a little bit of Thiago Silva. And this is like a more positive light on Thiago Silva. And then we'll get to the criticism of Thiago Silva. So moving on, the next tweet I have is Thiago Silva makes history. He is now Chelsea's oldest outfield player in history. And another little bit of fun fact about Thiago Silva that Pochettino said is Thiago Silva would love to manage and be a coach. And we were talking a lot about that in that last few months. He asked me about different things. He's great. And with the experience, he can be a good coach. I feel like Thiago Silva, this pretty much solidifies for me. I mean, I was inclined to believe that this is going to be probably his last season in his career. I don't even know if he's going to go back to Fluminense. But now he's talking about being a coach with our manager. He's already thinking about it. So
Listen,
not surprised.
It's time to go, mate. It's time to go, bro.
I got you.
It's time to go!
That's all you have to say, man.
You're just itching to talk about the next topic. You're just itching, bro. But
Bro,
I mean,
Moving swiftly onwards.
bro, that topic
yeah.
is just it connects everything you talked about today. Though for me, that really for me, yeah. I said this yesterday. I've been really thinking about it. Yeah, today while I was obviously relaxing, went out for my brunch, went out was out for the day with my other half, everything like that. I was thinking really deeply about this, bro, because like I feel like but ever since I've heard that news, and like some of the news that's been coming out right now, like the last 2 hours or so, it's really like it's really I don't know if the word clouded my judgment is correct, but it's made me look at stuff in a different light. Let's just say.
fair enough. But on the topic of Thiago Silva,
We don't
I
care
guess-
about Thiago Silva. I'll be real, bro.
Listen,
it's time
bro.
to move on. I told
don't
you guys,
care.
we need to move on. He needs to move on, bro. Respectfully, great. He's doing hoops at 39. Doesn't need to be. He just doesn't need to be doing it at my football club, personally.
okay. Now that I've calmed down about yesterday's game, I do think we do need to start phasing out Thiago Silva sooner than later. I agree. Listen, I agree, because now we look at the bigger picture that we have so far, and there is, and this is important that we mentioned it yesterday, there is a common denominator in these defensive results, and that is Thiago Silva, right? I am curious to see what happens if we decide to, drop him and see how much more solid we are in the defense with a Badiashile with Disasi, or Levi Colwell with Disasi, or Badiashile and Levi Colwell. If Fofana manages to come back this season somehow, then let's see what happens with him.
Just
And
can't
we
get
are
much
in the market-
worse.
We are still in the market with us for a CB.
Drink a bottle of water.
What?
Listen, man.
But it can't get much worse. Exactly like Oliver said.
Listen, man. We just need to listen. It's bad, bro. He literally did the Windows over 7. Literally, that's what happened to him, bro. With that chance, literally logged
He
off.
did shut off.
So we need someone that's going to be shut on. You know what I'm saying? This RC, we need you back. No, honestly.
I agree. But that's funny the way you said that.
No, that's how I'm running. Like,
The problem is, Vic. The thing, Vic, is I would actually disagree. I don't think he's been level-headed recently.
no.
He hasn't
Yeah, I
been
don't think
level-headed
so.
recently. No,
I think
he
his
hasn't
head, I think his head drops whenever everyone else drops too.
been-
Because like that, there is one thing that there was one thing that I think was really important that for those of you who are longtime subscribers to the channel, you guys know I'm a fan of Eunice. One thing he did point out, which is discipline in the team, and if the captain doesn't have discipline to keep himself checked, and Thiago Silva, who is a leader in that locker room, who is also like, giving Reece James advice, if these two pieces, part of the pieces, can't be disciplined, what makes you think the rest of the team is going to remain disciplined?
Shillings was not disciplined.
Who?
You didn't get a joke. It's okay. Listen, Sterling wasn't even disciplined. Sterling wasn't even being disciplined either. Like another, like
Oh, CTE.
no shillings, like money. Before Sterling, it used to
Oh.
be British shillings.
Oh,
Oh wow, that was Jesus Christ, Ahmed. Oh my God. Okay, yeah. Go on, Ahmed. Go on. Cook whatever you're
no.
burning.
I was saying even Sterling, for example, the yellow card, the stupid yellow card he got, which was very immature, right? That was the thing.
so that yesterday he's one off suspension.
Yeah, it's not good enough. So I mean, let's
I've got an answer, by the way. I've got a one-word answer to that question that was just on this thing. How do you phase out a level-headed player? One word: meritocracy.
yeah.
Doesn't deserve to play right now. That doesn't mean that none of us don't rate him and what he's done for the club ever since he joined. But it's just time. It is time. Like we can't delay this much longer because we have young centre backs that need those minutes, and we have him playing there that on performance doesn't deserve it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's move on to the beginning of 3 topics that we have that Ahmed wanted to discuss. I think we're gonna break it down in a few sections. Let's start off with the first one. Pochettino's discipline. So, recently we did hear about this, which is Nicholas Jackson essentially being disciplined for the amount of yellow cards he's been receiving. Now, Mauricio Pochettino previously said that he would fine Jackson for his yellow cards, but not with money, and the players believe he served his punishment. Jackson then came out and said, according to Matt Law, "One day I was running and I didn't know why. Maybe that was it. I was dead that day. I think that was my punishment. They just called me out to run. I said, why? What happened? But I just had to run. It was laps, really hard, the intensity. Then I was lying down when I finished. I think it was that." So as much as I do admire that there is this type of discipline from the manager to obviously instill in these players not to do these things, not to, do this type of behavior, I find it a little bit amusing that he says this to Jackson, but then this motherfucker was in the stands yesterday because he acquired 3 yellow cards. It's just so ironic. So it's just like, what the fuck, Poch? Like, how do you expect Nicholas Jackson to not pick up yellows and do this, but yet you can't set by example?
I will say, you probably don't have the tweet, but Poch actually did take a punishment. He basically, what the tweet said is he took the players out of dinner and he paid for it.
Really? Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, so apparently that was his quote-unquote self-imposed punishment.
But regardless, like, you shouldn't have to get to the point where you're punishing yourself or punishing your players. Like, you should be able to lead by example and not get these yellow cards. Be professional about this. Like, don't get me wrong. I do really like that our manager comes out and stands up for the team and stands up for himself. And, after the Tottenham game, I like seeing that from Poch. But if your criticism of Jackson is that he's getting yellow cards for these stupid reasons, which we understand here at the panel that they are dumb reasons, he shouldn't be bad-mouthing the ref and going up to him and accumulating these stupid yellow cards because it's important to the team, then you need to lead by example. I that's what I think on it. Wait, what are you saying, Vic? What did I say that's wrong? What did I say that's wrong? Anyways, guys, what do you think?
No, I do agree. I mean, yeah, you'd like him to lead by example. That would obviously be the ideal scenario. But if he can't, then at least he's taking accountability, just like he would expect his players to. Because if that wasn't the case, then he'd probably lose the dressing room. Let's be honest. Because players are very quick to spot these kind of inconsistencies with like how certain people are treated or how you treat yourself compared to others. That kind of thing.
And you know what? Like, I will also say, just to preface this as well, I think the new rule now that you go up to a ref and it's on automatic yellow unless you're the captain, only the captain can speak to the ref. I do think that's ridiculous, right? But it is a rule at the end of the day. Like, rules are going to be rules, and you got to abide by those rules if you want to, play the sport. So it's just, again, I don't think I'm being harsh when I say that Pochettino, if he's going to be doing this, right, he also has to lead by example if this is something that he's against. I mean, I don't know, Ahmed, if you want to add anything to this, but I mean, we can go on to the next topic.
I think for me, I don't know, like, if running is going to help the situation out, because part of it is that, look, man, these guys, man, they're playing quite a lot of football internationally, and I don't know if running is going to be the solution for this. Like, I usually find that monetary fines are usually quite good, particularly on the wages these guys are on. I feel like those are a bit more successful. Sorry, I mean, don't know about you.
It depends, because the at the time that this story came out, it seems that it was like the right before Newcastle, right? So if he was doing his running like maybe the day after a game, then I think it's fine. You have enough time to recover. It's a very old school way of reprimanding a player, and I remember I've gotten it. I've gotten that treatment. It sucks. I remember one time my team lost. We didn't even lose. We conceded a goal against a team we should not have conceded a goal. And the next day, we literally had military boot camp. We had actual military officers come to training and put us through fucking boot camp. It was actually, now that I think about it, it's actually utterly insane. But regardless, we were punished for that game. So like I see, it's a very old school way of punishment, but at the same time, the player gets better fitness out of it. But also, like, I don't know. I see where you're coming from, Ahmed, but it is.
But the problem is, like, while what you're saying is a valid opinion and everything. Look at the current state of like football and where we are. A lot of these guys are probably in the red or hyper playing and everything like that. So I don't know if it's the right thing.
Yeah, but not us though, because we're only playing once a week.
No, but remember, someone like Jackson, while yes, he may be playing once a week, they're also they're also playing internationally too. They're traveling, they're moving internationally. It's not great for us to be doing that sort of super suicide runs. But like at this point in time, bro, monetarily, getting fined monetarily is the best option, because the yellow cards he's been getting aren't because of him like making stupid fouls or anything like that. It's because of him saying, show the yellow card to him or stuff like that. That's what he's been getting a lot of the yellow cards for at the end of the day.
I understand, Vic, that he's under a lot of pressure, but again, like, if you want to lead by example, you don't give yourself yellow cards. That's just that simple. Like, if you want to lead by example, if you don't want your players getting yellow cards, then you don't accumulate yellow cards. I think it's a pretty simple concept. But listen, and I don't disagree. I think it's a stupid rule that you can't talk to these refs now and you automatically get a yellow the moment you even say anything. And I think that is the case, but it is what it is. Okay, let's move on to the next part of Poch, which is there's been some comments post Newcastle. And this goes in tandem with some hypocrisy that's been happening in recent news. So let's start off with this first tweet right here. Mauricio Pochettino: it was our worst game of the season. It was tough to be in the stands. We cannot complain about the result. We did not read the game from the beginning. We did not play how we should play. We showed a lack of intensity and energy. Even after we scored at 1-1 was a chance for us to force them to play deep, but it was so easy for Newcastle. That is why I am so upset with the performance. It's a young team. They need this type of situation to realize. We will go to the hotel, then train early tomorrow. No time off. We cannot blame the players. It is a team together. We need to understand the level we need to compete and learn about the situation. There are many details, many things that build confidence and strength. We already know what is going on, and we will try to change the dynamic. That was his pretty much his post-match interview. Oh shit, I put the wrong thing on. Next tweet I have here is Mauricio Pochettino on restoring his confidence. There are many details that build strength, and we already know. Okay, so I already read that. That was part of that tweet. Mauricio Pochettino asked about Thiago Silva's mistake. I am talking more about energy. We were not in the right. We were not prepared in the best way to complete today. But that was my concern. We thought we were ready. Mauricio Pochettino: even if Newcastle wasn't great, it was an easy win. We need to come here and show it will be difficult to face Chelsea. We were soft in every single challenge. We did not show we were playing for something. Going on. He was asked about the team missing him on the touchline. We need to show different energy, different capacity to compete. This is why we were talking about to be consistent. Sometimes we play Manchester City and everyone will be focused until the end, and we'll put their head, or I guess we'll put down their head is what he meant. The big team performance every 3 days in this way. Comments down below. Okay, it doesn't matter. Then moving on. Chelsea often look vulnerable from set pieces, and that has come down to coaching. Despite spending nearly £300 million on midfielders, although Romeo Lavia has yet to make his debut to injury, they are not offering much protection to the back four. This is coming from Simon Johnson. I guess this is an opinion piece here. Then Thiago Silva also came out and apologized. I'm devastated. It wasn't a good day for us. I would like to apologize to everyone for the defeat, especially to my teammates who believe in me, support me every day. I take full responsibility. Let's gather strength and come back stronger. So a few things there. Obviously, I do like the attitude that Pochettino came out with, and just saying it like it is. This was a shit game, and the players need to
Can
be
you talk
better.
about the thing that came out today that connects to this though?
Well, we will get there.
But to be honest, they're literally the same thing though, because like he was talking all this talk, he was acting hard, and then we find out. Guess what we found out today?
All right, let's move on to it then.
Because it works in tandem to talk about the comments.
Yeah, I know. Okay, let's go on to the next part then. Okay, so today we got some news that came out. So this was prior. This was actually yesterday. Chelsea owners want UCL qualification. Wait, hold on. I got it. We're getting there. Okay, so Simon Phillips yesterday said Chelsea's owners want UCL qualification this season. So whilst people might want to keep saying that this is a developing team and project, the reality says different. Pochettino as manager will absolutely be feeling that right now. And then reiterating this. Oh, actually, no, I don't have it. Shit. Mauricio Pochettino on restoring confidence. Oh, this is what I mean, man. This stupid thing does this thing. All right. So there was a tweet, basically, Simon Phillips saying it's still, even despite the result, plan is still top four. So, and then PYS says here, Chelsea position is still in trust Mauricio Pochettino. His job is not at risk at this stage. Chelsea know it's a young team and it will take some time. The club are not so happy with the current situation and want to see improvements, but owners and wow. Owners and directors trust Pochettino, according to Fabrizio Romano.
All right, Johnny Minerals.
Pochettino has demonstrated anger in an interview after yesterday, suggesting that normal way to react to such poor results would be to cancel the scheduled Sunday off and to train, but it was just an empty threat and Chelsea players had their day off as planned, according to Simon Johnson. Then this came out today. 15 minutes after full time, Chelsea's unused sub Alex Matos stood on the touchline and asked a member of staff, "Are the others coming out? Where are they?" He was told they were in the dressing room. Matos then asked the coach if it was right the squad had 2 days off. Yes, it was true. The players seemed surprised. This is coming from Craig Hope. Yeah, I mean, listen, this doesn't look good, obviously. It's some hypocrisy from Poch, and we see here Nicholas Jackson inside the Villarreal changing room less than 24 hours removed from Pochettino saying there will be no day off post the 4-1 loss. And then continuing on, Nicholas Jackson's trip to Villarreal was pre-planned. Chelsea players were given the day off, according to Ben Jacobs. Yeah, listen, I'll be honest. As much as this doesn't look good and it does look hypocritical of Poch, I don't think the players deserved a day off today. They definitely should have been training. I'm not going to be looking into this that deeply, though. I really don't think it's that deep, but I would like to hear what Ahmed has to say. But it is hypocrisy, and it does make me lose a little bit of respect for Poch. Ahmed, gathering his thoughts.
I'm going to be honest with you, man. As a man, if you, or as any person in general, I should say, not just a man, yeah. If you talk the talk, you must walk the walk, and he's not walking the walk, bro. He has failed it. He has failed. Like, how can you say tomorrow we gotta make sure we come in here to do what we need to do, yeah, and everything like that, and now he's not even walking the walk. They're getting 2 days off, Marshall. It's not even 1 day off. They're getting 2 days off. So they're not even training tomorrow.
I'll be honest. Until it actually happens, I'm not believing those leaks. I really am not. Like, first of all, who's leaking that? And secondly, like, 2 days off? Or we know they had 1 day off. Let's see what happens the next day off. Because this isn't Potter either. Like, we know that this team has been training so relentlessly since Poch came in. So, like, if he gets 2 days off, that's symbolic. Maybe it's a misunderstanding. I don't know. But I need to see the 2 days off because listen, that's just
Bro,
scandalous.
it doesn't matter if it's even 2 days off. Getting the next day off after that performance and after how you've talked, that is inexcusable, bro. That is embarrassing.
I agree. It is embarrassing. I think it's hypocritical, but it's also like, I feels like some people are talking about this in the sense of like, oh, he's lost the dressing room. Oh, there's no more respect for Poch. Oh, the owners are in
Well,
control
you're
of
going to lose
everything.
respect if you're the best.
The things like this is where that starts, though.
Yes, you lose respect because of stuff like this, bro. If you're not a man of your word.
No, I agree. You do lose respect, but has he lost the dressing room? I don't think it's that deep.
Well, listen, this is the start, though. This is the start. You don't know what's been going on in the dressing room previously. But this is the problem for me personally. You look at all of this stuff now, and then obviously you talked about the report about the managers. They're disappointed. You're already seeing the disappointed results. The first excuse the oldest young team and everything like that. But then you're hearing they want UCL football. How can
at the same time? Go ahead.
How can you, bro? How can you ask for UCL football with the team that you currently have?
Yeah. I think they're misguided in this. I agree. I don't think they understand what it takes.
This is so stupid on a level where I don't want to say it. I want to use normal language here, but like, look at it, bro. In the summer, why did we buy Jackson then? Why did we buy Cole Palmer? Why did we buy Mudryk then and Madueke if you were to believe that next season you're going to be trying to go for Champions League football? Why would we just not buy ready and prepared players then?
This is definitely supporting an argument that there is a level of delusion in this ownership, because if you remember when after the January transfer window last year, they thought that top four was still attainable with Graham Potter. There's no way.
I mean, here's the thing. Top four is possible with this group of players. It's possible. I'm not saying it's going to happen, and the likelihood of it happening isn't that high either. But I think because the talent pool is there, but I think what the owners fail to see is that it's a talent pool, and like I said yesterday, it's an investment. You can't make top four. You can't guarantee results with investments. That's why it's called an investment. You put money into it and hope that it grows and becomes something that you invested in. If you wanted results, then you get the tried and true. You get your Oshimes. You get more experienced players in these positions. Leao, for example, or Kvaratskhelia. You get these proven players. Diaby even. Yeah. Or even Madison. You get these players. You don't do it with investments. So it's like, I think this season, as long as we're not in relegation form, I don't see Poch getting sacked, even if he doesn't get top four. Because if anything, I
disagree with you, bro.
So that would make their targets hollow.
Yes. Let me land. Because I think these owners need to realize their mistakes by actually having it happen. Because it's a lose-lose, really. When you think about it, it's a lose-lose. And at this point, like, I'll take the less loss, which is not making top four and sticking with Poch, than having to sack another manager after going through all these interviews and not picking Enrique, not picking Nagelsmann, not picking Postecoglou. And then again, it's going to be a lot more embarrassing for the owners to sack Poch than not make top four. And I think these owners will save face, and they have been patient with Potter because they wanted to be so right about him.
The worst thing now is that you got like everyone that's kind of like on that Potter outside. They're talking about like Xavi Alonso, and yes, he's been great at Leverkusen, but we literally just went through a flavour of the month with Graham Potter. What are we doing?
Yeah,
it's a circus.
The problem for me is that if Marshall's comment about he's not going to get sacked, I'm sorry, he will get sacked. I actually am of the belief now. Yeah, he's going to get sacked before Christmas.
Can I ask you this?
The reason why I will say this, before you give me a disagreement, is because they are asking for UCL football. They're demanding UCL football. At some point in time, they're gonna have to sack him while it's still attainable.
But they didn't do that with Graham Potter.
But the
That's
difference,
what I mean.
but the thing
Why
is,
would they give
But remember,
Potter more
that's,
time?
as you have said though, they learned from their lesson. But this season though, they actually need UCL football compared to last season where they were like, we can take the hit for this season upcoming. This season they do actually need UCL football for FFP reasons.
But Ahmed, have they learned that
don't.
lesson?
Wait, no, they don't. Wait, hold on. I don't think they need UCL football for FFP reasons.
I actually believe that they may need UCL football for FFP reasons. I believe it.
As far as I'm aware, we're in the black for FFP, and we have more players to sell.
Bro, but the thing is, you still need some level of revenue stream coming in. FFP is just not obviously about balancing the book. You also have to be making some level of money and profit. You know what I mean? You can't just go on and have continuous losses every single time.
Yeah, but what losses would we be making this season?
Not having UCL football would mean another 19 million loss, bro. At the very least.
It's not a loss. It's just you're not gaining that amount.
But you're losing money, bro, because the club is based upon UCL football.
In comparison to the last 2 seasons, or last season, I get that.
Yeah, because you're making less revenue, Marshall. Though the thing is,
it's not an FFP requirement. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
The FFP is about FFP
I know. When I say requirement, it's like I mean as a requirement to abide to FFP because of money we spent. Can't spend money we don't have. We don't have that money. We haven't spent that money. We're good with FFP right now.
But that's the problem. But that's the problem though. When the revenue streams decrease,
Dude, shut the fuck up. I am not accepting mediocrity. I have been saying for the last how many fucking streams that I am not happy with the string of results. I even just said it earlier. My only problem is that you're not going to solve it by getting Xabi Alonso. Like Oliver literally just said it. We did that with Potter. We got the flavor of the month. It didn't solve shit.
You know what it also is, yeah. And
do you trust these owners to pick the right manager too? Like, come on, man.
Yes. I think Vic making a point here. You're losing money because you're making less. You'll record losses without UCL, so we're not going to. Yeah, that's the point I think I was trying to make. But I think going forward, yeah.
Maybe I don't know. I disagree.
The point is, yeah, these guys need UCL football. If they need it, and it seems like they're quite desperate for UCL football, because not just Isaiah Phillips has reported it. One team's reported it on his in his article as well. So this is a fact. If you need UCL football, then and you're getting comments like this about they're not happy with the current turn of results, then it's only a ticking time bomb. And yesterday I spoke with you guys. Conference League is like 7 points away right now.
Mm-hmm.
If you lose here to Brighton, it becomes 10 because they're the guys that are actually in that spot.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 10. That's a 10-point gap. You go to United, a team where we usually lose, and then all of a sudden it becomes 13 possibly.
Sure.
So you know what I mean? You're digging a hole. You start digging a hole, and then it becomes all the more impossible for you to get some level of football.
But what happens, right? What happens if we sack Potter and we get another manager and we still don't get UCL football?
Well, then that's on them. But this is just the reality that we have to face, bro.
Are we just gonna keep sacking managers until we get UCL football? Like, is that what's gonna happen?
That's what they might do. But it's up to us as a fan base to recognize the patterns.
Yes.
The common denominator in that case would be we have an ownership that can't hire a competent manager to get us into the top 4, or it's either that. Hang on. It's either they can't hire a competent manager, or they're not supplying them with the necessary resources.
And the thing for me, Marshall, is the resources point is a key point by Oliver. The resources we currently have, we cannot win the UCL. We can't get UCL football. Let's not deny it right here. All 3 of us here are here together. We can all admit we are not getting UCL football with what we have right now, boys.
No.
And for me, yeah, you know what, you guys, you guys are talking about the ownership. Poch, yeah, I'm looking at you with some side eyes, bro. Why did you convince them with the team that you currently have? Yeah, when you was doing the little 2-month thing, yeah, and you were saying, yeah, you know what, we can get UCL football. Why were you saying that then?
I just want to address this comment from Scooby here. Keep sacking managers till we get it right. Why don't we just get it right?
We don't want to turn. The other thing is, I don't want us to turn to Man United where we keep on having a cycle of managers where we hire then fire, hire then fire, then hire then fire.
Or to use a more close to home example, post Conte title, Abramovich Chelsea.
Yeah, we don't want that to happen. So this is the thing. So like again, when I come back to this point, yeah, you're not giving him the resources. You're expecting UCL football. You're literally doing a pray and hoping cuckoo now, and then you're trying to buy Osimhen for breaking the bank for him. And then the thing is, even if you bring in Osimhen, yeah, he's not enough. He's not enough in my opinion.
Just on Osimhen quickly, Ahmed. You know, we're talking about like, if we don't make UCL this season and next season, by that point we're not going to be able to buy a player of that caliber because they won't want to come here.
Exactly, and then also the other, and obviously I'm speaking of Osimhen, but then the thing is, Osimhen's not enough. You need another guy now, in my opinion. Who's that going to be? Can you get Leao in this club? Because he's going to be another one you have to break the bank for. What about another guy? Like even if we spoke about Kvaratskhelia for someone, can we get him right now? No, we can't. Can we get a Florian Wirtz if you want to do right now? No. Can we get someone like a Musiala right now? No. So, you know, you're already in a big country if you're trying to say UCL football.
Scooby, does this answer your question? Do you now realize like what you're saying is not the answer? Like again, what do you want to do? Be just like Man United? Like, look at how the sacking cultures helped them. But listen, I mean, I see where you're coming from, Ahmed. I just think it'd be kind of ridiculous. First of all, I don't think we're hurting for UCL football as bad as you say. I really don't think so.
I don't know, bro. Because look, it's because the reason why I would say that to you is not just the money that we're spending on the first team. We're spending money on wonder kids as well, guys. You know what I'm saying to you? That we're trying to send to different clubs in and around the world too. That's also something else that we need to add. Marshall?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just reading comments here. After 1 million spent, you need another 200 million or more for new players to secure CL.
How many of those are proven players? How much of that $1 billion is on proven players?
But that's also like,
and how much of that is in our first team? Also, how much of that is in our first team, and B, how much of that is even at the club anymore? As in, we sold Koulibaly, we got rid of Aubameyang. I can't remember if we got a fee for him or not, but
Oliver,
we've sold a lot of what we've bought.
I was actually going to say that because I was thinking about this on my drive home today. Everyone likes to say that we spent $1 billion, when in reality, when you look at the net spend, it's $750,000. Am I incorrect in saying that? $750,000 in the last two windows. So
let me think.
There's that.
We sold Koulibaly for 20.
You do the math real quick while I just talk this out. So there's that, right? Also, when you think about it, that's, let's say, net spend $750,000 over the course of 8 years, give or take, because that's about the average size of the contract with these new players. So when you think about how much you're spending each season, it's not net spent merchant. This is how business works, Vic. This is how people get past FFP. And this is why I'm saying, like, in my head, like, I don't think we're in trouble with FFP because of the amortization.
I will say, though, FFP is not based on a flat net spend.
Yep, it's not based on that. It's based on more than.
But it's based on the amount you're spending each season.
It's what you said there. It's about the amortized.
So that's what I'm trying to get at. Like, so when you think about it, it's $1 billion spread over 8 years, give or take, with these contracts. So when you divvy it up, it's gonna be about 100, and you're the mathematician here, Oliver. You're gonna have to help me with this one.
Yeah, it's about 125
million.
125 million.
125 million.
Yeah,
each season.
Yeah, 12.5.
So it's like we're spending 12.5 on these players each season. It doesn't look like we're going to be going for a lot more players going forward. We're basically spent all our fucking money in this summer window that just passed. So I'm just saying, like, it's like, I don't know. I don't think UCL is required, but I think they really, really want UCL, and they want to keep that standard. I think they're going to have to learn the hard way that it might not be obtainable with this team. It's possible, but I don't think it's likely.
Bro, you can keep saying the hard way, the easy way, the hard way. It ain't going to help you at all, bro.
It just doesn't make sense to me, because, like, why would they give Potter more time than Poch? after how much money they spent for Poch this season.
The
Did they
difference
supply
is,
him
though,
with the right resources? I don't think so, but
the difference is though the difference is they probably have a lot more higher expectations with Poch.
listen, I don't want any more people to be in this board because we're already criticizing so heavily when Stanley and Lawrence Stewart. The last thing I want from this Chelsea fan base is more toxicity against the director that we decide to get. Like, please, no more. Like, we're fine with what we have. I don't think we need any more.
But
people on this board.
to be fair, if what we're saying about being equipped with the right resources to get into the Champions League, that would technically come under Paul Winstanley.
Yeah. Also, real quick,
I feel like Stuart
address
gets
this.
away with it. Stuart gets away with a lot of stuff, as well. Him.
No, but Lawrence
Yeah.
Stewart is the outgoing guy. That's
No, yeah, and that's why, like, lately in the last two streams, we've been really critical in this panel and this channel about Lawrence Stewart's loan contracts that he's done. Look at how bad it's been going for Andre Santos. Look at how bad it's been going for Moreira, and so on and so forth. Like, the only real good ones that, I mean, I'm doing this based off of what Scott said because I don't watch Amari Hutchinson, but apparently Hutchinson's having a decent loan and Angelo's having a decent loan. But everyone
Burst has
else,
been doing pretty well. Burst has been doing pretty well.
yeah.
I think
I don't think-
Bashir Humphreys as well, right?
Yeah, Swansea's been doing pretty well too. So
Yeah, but to go to this comment, like, not Marshall, I just missed the Roman days, but also Poch hasn't shown anything to prove us that he deserves time. There's way more negatives than positives. You listen, my biggest gripe with Poch right now is the consistency. I think there hasn't been consistency. There has been, like, I know, and Scooby, I'm sure you deep down inside actually believe this, that this team does have potential to be really good. This team has the talent to be really good. The problem is there's not been consistencies there. We almost beat Arsenal. We should have beaten Arsenal. It wasn't for a stupid mistake from Robert Sanchez. None of you expected us to beat Arsenal. None of us expected us to beat Spurs. And yes, although it was a shitty game where we won because they had two men down, we still won. Regardless, we still won. They could have easily have done a low block and we wouldn't have scored at all, and it would have stayed a draw game. And I know that would have happened because we suck at low blocks. But that's not what Ange did, and we out tactically maneuvered him. Whatever. Okay, we did 4-4 against Man City. Again, another game where low expectations. None of us here in the panel or in the chat expected us to even get that kind of result against Man City. So yes, Poch has shown me that he can get results. He just hasn't done it consistently. That's the problem I have with Poch. And again, I find it hard to grasp in my head that Potter is going to get more time than Poch when I think Poch has shown much more in these last 3 months than Potter did in the 4 months he was in the club. Like,
But
for
again,
fuck's sakes,
Marshall,
we're talking about, real quick, Ahmed, before I let you go, for just as example, I think this time last season, can you guys hear me? Okay.
you're lagging a bit, bro.
Okay. This time last
That's
season,
better, yeah.
we had 26 goals. No, this time last season, we're 26 goals, 27 goals now. It took us until March of last season, and Potter was still in for us to do that. So there's been improvements. So I don't know. What do you guys? I mean, if you want to counter that, by all means, go
The
ahead.
problem is, though, Marshall, who are you expecting more from, Pochettino or Parr?
Poch. But I am
That's the
expecting
problem.
improvement, which I'm getting it from Poch.
But that's the problem, though. They're expecting more from Pochettino than they are from Parr. They were the reason why they stuck so long from Parr is because they said that he's a manager that's up and coming. We can give him the time that he needs to, to settle in and then develop these guys. The thing of Pochettino is that is not so much the case because he's already been successful. He's already been successful at doing that at Tottenham. So why are they expecting anything else or more? That's why That's why it makes sense for me. They have less patience for Pochettino than they do for Bar.
But here's the thing, with Poch, and I just came up with this. I could be wrong, but this is kind of the analysis that I kind of determined right now or thought of is that with Potter, I think Potter was developing a system or a style of play that was creating chances for our team, but wasn't doing shit with it. It was sound defensively, but it was not working with the team. He wasn't getting the best out of the players. Poch, I feel like, is the complete opposite, where he's now getting these players to kick off and work and develop and improve. But the tactic or the style that he's trying to go with isn't working out in his favor, especially defensively. And maybe that has to go down to the selection choice. But again, like,
he needs to work this
real
out.
quick before you go as well, Ahmed. And this is like, Marshall, what results are you talking about? We haven't won any of the big games or small games. The only one that we won was against a 9-man Spurs, a team who we almost drew to. You're right. But I feel like there's two sides to the Chelsea fan base, where either we get shitty results, shitty wins, but have horrible performances, or we do better style of play, but we don't get results. So if we get a win, at the end of the day, we get a win. Like, I'm not gonna, again, we're getting draws against team we weren't expecting to beat. We picked up points against Arsenal. We weren't expecting to pick up points against Arsenal. Picked up points against Man City. No one thought we were going to get points against Man City. It's not even about the results so much. It's more so about, like, I know I'm not okay with it, but I understand where we are as a team right now. We're not there yet. We're not there where I can go out with chest and say we're going to beat these teams. We're going to beat these teams. I'm at a point where, like, this team is only potential right now. This team can do this, but it's about consistency and time, and hopefully in time they will come good. And then I can start saying with chest, like, all right, we're going to do this. But again, it's about the expectation was here and the reality came out to be here. So we did do better than what we expected to do against those teams. So in my eyes, it's not the results I want, but it's better than I expected. So we are improving in my eyes in some shape or form. That's where I'm going with that. Ahmed, I know you wanted to say something before I interrupted you.
You know, the thing for me, Marshall, is that everything you're saying, I hear you, but the problem is he is on the clock right now. I'll be real. Like, I don't want him to get that. You and I think all of us here probably don't want him to get attacked as of currently, but he's on the clock right now. There's no, like, we don't need to do, I feel like people don't want to, people, I know that people don't. I know people want to mince words around this, but really he is on the clock because, and I will say this again, they sacked Tuchel when there was still a good amount or a greater chance of opportunity for us to get UCL football, and they brought in Potter. I think you can probably say the same situation is probably going to happen now with Pochettino. Once and I said this before, if we lose to Brighton and there's a 10-point gap and it's a very bad loss, and then you go into Man United and lose back to back because they know that the next guy that comes in is going to have an easier fixture afterwards, that's the perfect time to bring them in.
But this is what I was talking about before earlier. This is the part that frustrates me about the Chelsea fan base. Right now, we sound like we're well, I should need to stop saying we. Right now, the Chelsea fan base is touting, and the overall vibe is that we're going into Brighton thinking we're going to lose. What if we don't lose? Then we're back about like, oh, Champions League is possible again. Oh, this is all doable. And then we lose against Man United. And we're back to this discussion about like, I don't know. I think the owners are going to sack him. And it's like, it's all up and down, up and down, up and down. It's like,
but the thing is, you know what it is, bro, though? It's the because we're not being consistent in results. But then again, you and I, we understand there's young guys involved. But the problem is, if you are the directors of the football, if you are the ownership, and you're looking for UCL football, this conversation is happening almost a weekly basis.
Yeah, but again, and I go overall again, like maybe you're right about if UCL doesn't seem obtainable, he gets a sack, right? But again, like it just for me it contradicts because. Let's just say, let's play this out, right? Potter went from a few wins and then it started going downhill and it remained downhill. It was just draw, loss, draw, loss, loss, draw, loss. It was never up and down. It was never up and down with him. It was just down, down, down. With Poch, there's inconsistencies. There's up, downs, up, downs, up, downs. And it's like, okay, this isn't ideal, but at least with some wins, you're going to get more points than Potter, and you're going to get closer than Potter ever got. That's what I'm saying. Like, Poch is going to get better results than Potter if he stays. And I think the ownership is going to see that. And I still believe that. I don't think it's going to go downhill like Potter did if we keep Poch. I really don't think. And I think anyone who thinks that, you're being completely pessimistic. Like, completely pessimistic. Like, you know what this team can do. And you know this team has not dropped their heads or down tools like they did with Potter. So, like, I don't know where you're coming from with this idea that it's going to go downhill. I think we're going to go uphill again, and we're going to go downhill again. And at the end of the day, at the end of the season, there's going to be a better result than last season. Is it ideal? No. Is that the standard I want? Hell no. But I understand it's a part of a project.
You want to hear fun facts, Marshall? I've got a nice little fun fact for you.
Go for it.
If you win our next 2 games, hypothetically, do you know what our thing's going to be? 5 wins, 5 draws, and 5 losses.
What? Say that again? I'm sorry.
If you win the next 2 games, our scoreboard in the EPL will be 5 wins, 5 losses, and 5 draws.
Yeah, it's not good. But
That's
what
the problem,
was
though,
Potter at? What was Potter at this time around?
He was actually winning his
I
games
think we need to get Potter out of the conversation here, because to get Champions League, we can't be just looking at be better than Potter.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, though, Oliver. The reason I bring up Potter, though, is that, like, if I'm the ownership, and I'm looking at the Potter situation, that's the only thing I have to base on how they're going to approach Poch. If that was the threshold for Potter, then if that's the bar, and Poch exceeds that bar, I don't understand how the ownership is going to sack Potter.
But he can exceed that bar and still not meet the targets.
Mm-hmm.
And also, just the thing is, I know you said that Potter had a massive fall off, and there's no guarantee that Potts falls off, and that is true. If we continue, I'm extrapolating here. We're on 16 points. If we basically replicated the form that we've had up until now for the rest of the season, we finish on 47 points.
Jesus Christ. We're literally a low mid-table team. We're literally just another 12th to 13th place team.
47 points. I don't know what that's getting you. I'm afraid.
No, that's not getting anything, bro. You're literally like 12th or 13th at best.
So that's if we don't fall off. If we fall off, it will be a disaster.
Ahmed, do you happen to know what our points per game is right now?
Our points per game. How many games have we played?
1.2.
1.2. So it's probably because I think we played with 12 games in it. It's 12 games, 16.
13 after yesterday.
13 after yesterday, so 16 over 13, literally.
Yeah, 1.2.
Yep.
1.2.
Mathematician down there.
Yeah. Okay. So as of right now, in current form, his points per game is pretty much the same as Potter. 1.27, which is Potter. I'm looking at the stats right now. P22, I guess 22 Premier League matches, 1-7, drew 7. I don't think the math's right. Yeah, that is the math. Okay. 1-7, drew 7, lost 8. 21 goals scored, 21 goals conceded. So time will tell.
Very similar trend.
Yeah, time will tell what happens with Poch. But again, I don't. This doesn't look like the team last year. This looks like the team that could get results, and I don't know. Time will tell, but I feel like
Potter has 12 wins, 11 losses, and 8 draws in all competition. Potter was 1.58. So, bro, spooky, man. I can't lie to you, Marshall. When he does get sacked before Christmas, I'll be here for you to have that chat. I'm telling you, Marshall, you're laughing, you're joking around, bro. This news of the other managers that are being looked at now, this is news about him not looking great and after giving the players a day off, and all this stuff, bro, is only adding more and more pressure onto him. Now against Brighton, maybe if they play, but the thing of Brighton, because I've seen people say we could probably beat Brighton. The thing is, if we are going through the way these players are playing and their motivation, they probably don't see themselves as underdogs against Brighton. So that's why it's more than likely we either draw or lose to a team like them.
Are you implying that because they don't see themselves as underdogs to Brighton, that they might be complacent?
Yeah, they'll probably do what we did against Newcastle and Aston Villa.
Yeah, that's possible. It's possible.
But,
I mean,
but-
listen, we
but-
beat them once, and I'm hoping that we implied the same strategy and we can do it again.
They should have smashed us, by the way, in that game.
Yeah,
They should have because of Rob Sanchez, but I'm hoping Rob Sanchez doesn't make a fucking error like he did. He hasn't really made an error like the Arsenal.
Well,
game
listen,
once.
you've literally jinxed it. He said he's not had made an error in a long time. Hey,
Oh,
that's what I'm saying to you, bro. It feels like I feel like a lot of people, you know, we need to stop putting on, you know, the rose tinted glasses that I like to wear, for example, you know, the ones I wear. Like, we need to be very honest on the fact that if these guys aren't used to football, tic tac, fam, it's on for him. It's on for him. And like, you know, I'm seeing people say, "How can you say sack the manager?" But the problem is, none of us here want the manager sacked. But if that is the school of thought that they want, then he's on the clock.
Yeah, I don't know. I think two schools of thoughts are possible, yours and also mine, which is they just stick with it because I think you got to save face. If you sack a manager again after what happened last season, that's absolutely embarrassing, especially after.
Do you think that they care though if it's embarrassing or not, bro? They don't care. They're just trying to find success as quickly as possible.
I don't.
it's embarrassing that they're asking for top 4.
Yes.
I don't know. It's embarrassing either way. It's a lose-lose. It really is a lose-lose. They sacked the manager, and it looks really bad on them because they picked a really bad manager again, and they just spent $1 billion and invested into the team, and now they got to start over with another team, or they don't make top 4. And
The only good thing to come out of this report is that to all the people that are trying to say that the owners are here to drag us down to 10th and they don't care. No, they want to be up there, but you have to practice what you preach. You can't put in the measures that you have and expect results. Not to the level you're asking for.
This is what I mean. It's already embarrassing. And then what happens if we go off on a win streak? Just a hypothetical. I don't think it's likely. But what happens if we go on a win streak? We beat Brighton. We beat United. Then who's after United? I don't even fucking remember. We're still in the. I should mention too. We're still in the Carabao Cup. We haven't been knocked out of it yet. So on and so forth. Like, again, I don't want to like jump to conclusions before the end of the season on our season being embarrassing or whatnot. Yes, we've had a rough start. We've got some results that we didn't expect, but we also got we got some results we didn't expect, and that goes in the negative sense and the positive sense.
We need the W's.
I know we need wins. We do need
wins.
wins.
But
it's all well and good.
Hang on, Ahmed. Even if we get W's, we need about how many teams do we need to fall off a cliff in order to overtake?
You know, I was saying this, Oliver. I said this to you earlier on in Discord. I was talking to Oliver about it. I was like, do you know like the stuff that we need to happen? We need Brighton to have a crazy fall off. We need Aston Villa to something crazy happen to them.
Aston Villa are 4th now, by the way.
Yep.
Here's the thing.
They're 4th right now. Listen, Newcastle are in that and they're beating us. Newcastle are in that and they're beating us.
With injuries.
Yes. Man United, bro.
I agree.
Listen, we need the worst United side in our generation, and we cannot beat them, bro.
Okay, hold up. I got you. All right. I agree. I agree.
Let me finish. Yeah. And
Okay,
then
go.
Manchester
I want to
City.
address Scooby.
Manchester City, of course, you've got that too. Liverpool, obviously, Manchester City, Liverpool, we cannot add to them necessarily, right? But like Arsenal, of course, they've got some injuries and everything, but we don't need to worry about them. We can't even get number 4 and number 5.
Okay. Here's the difference between my what if Scooby, and your what if. Your what if implies that we're gonna keep losing, and we're gonna keep dropping points. My what if implies, what if we don't? Okay? So at the end of the day, you can criticize me for what if, but you're doing it too, so don't be a hypocrite, okay? Now, here's the thing. The reason I am not concerned about us potentially turning this form around is because, again, I'm not settling for less. I'm settling for high expectations. So when I say that, I expect this team, the talent that they have, and Chelsea to be able to beat Brighton. I expect this team to be able to beat Man United. I expect this team to be able to beat Everton. I expect this team to be able to beat Sheffield United. And then after that, Wolves and Crystal Palace and Luton Town again and Fulham. So right there, if we end up winning those games, which in current form, it's questionable, but we end up winning those games, we're having a completely different discussion, and this is no longer about Potter and Poch and who had the better season. Like already, Poch is the better manager. So again, like I would like to come back to this at some point later in the season, maybe halfway through the season during the January transfer window to see where we are. But right now, like I feel like it's so tinfoil hat to be talking about he's gonna get sacked by the end of December if we're not looking like we're still in this. I mean, listen, I know I'm being a little deluded when I say this, but technically we are still in this race to get into top 4 into European places. We're only 8 points behind, and you guys see it. United were up there, Newcastle were up there, and Tottenham were up there, and all of a sudden they dropped down below outside of top 4, and now Aston Villa's in there. So it's. I think this season is a little bit crazy.
Because I looked up, big up to Brian. I think he makes a valid point. But the problem, Brian, look at the Liverpool squad. Who do they have? They actually have quality players going forward. We don't have that currently, bro. That is the problem.
But that's the thing, though. He's right, though. But he's right, because you look at Liverpool. We all thought they were gonna not even make top 4, and then what did they do? They turned their season around.
They didn't even make top 4, by the way.
Europe, all right. They ended up making 5th place, right? It's again like we don't know what could happen because we went into this.
Marshall, let me come back to you. Let me come back to you this one, please. Let me come back to you this one. The problem is, you're doing an if there. That's an if. I'm talking about, like, if we're being truly realistic about the team that we currently have, we can't go in a 10-game run, bro. Let's be honest,
guys. When we beat Fulham, all of us thought it was downhill from there. There was the if then too. There was the like, it's not looking good. He's not gonna be. Wait, hold on. No. Before Carabao Cup, all of us were saying, "Damn, it's this." We were already there were already discussions about Poch out. Okay, let's not pretend. Let's not rewrite or revisionize the history. Okay, prior to Brighton, when we lost to Aston Villa, we were all saying like, "Shit, we're not gonna beat Brighton. We're not gonna beat Fulham. Oh my God, we're not gonna beat Arsenal, Burnley. Like Poch's gonna get sacked. Poch's gonna get sacked." What happened? Poch ended up getting a little bit of form. We beat Brighton in the FA Carabao Cup, which I agree with Oliver. Like we probably should have lost that. Okay, we beat Fulham. We end up getting a result against Burnley, a 4-1 result, mind you. Which again, I don't think any of us expected because we thought Burnley were going to sit back. They ended up not. We almost beat Arsenal. We should have beaten Arsenal. Stupid fucking mistakes again. But again, it's a result-based in business. So we got to draw against Arsenal when all of us thought we were going to lose against Arsenal. Then Brentford beat us and we're putting our heads back down. And then we beat Blackburn Rovers. We beat Tottenham. Our heads are back up. Manchester City. And then we drop our heads against Newcastle. Why can't it be the opposite? Like, okay, we lost the result once before against Brentford. We saw how it turned around. We got a result against Blackburn Rovers, result against Tottenham, result against City. Why can't we be more optimistic and say like, okay, maybe we can do it again. Let's get a result against Brighton, a result against United, result against Everton. The twice this season where when things went bad, Poch turned it around and got results when no one expected results to come from them. That's what I'm trying to say. So again, here's the if. Because you guys threw an if earlier about him not getting results and getting the sack, and he turned it around and ended up proving us wrong. If he could probably prove us wrong again, we don't know. I'm not saying, but they have Klopp. I don't give a shit if they have Klopp. We have Poch. Poch got Spurs to Champions League final. He's a competent manager. He's not incompetent. What is Klopp the best manager ever?
I'm not even.
No one can compete with Klopp.
Hang on, I'm not even talking about the. I wouldn't even say they got Klopp. Look, they've got one. They've got arguably the best winger in the world.
Yeah, and they still dropped their heads midway through season last season. They were in the mud with us.
I hear you, Marshall, but the reality of the situation is, I'm going to keep it simple to you. I'm going to speak in realism. The team we currently have cannot go on a 10-game winning run. Come on, bro. Let's stop the cap.
No, I get it. They might not. I'm just saying, in a hypothetical world, what if we win 10 games?
Hypothetical, Marshall. We need a level.
We were entertaining the hypothetical. listen, we were
What is
entertaining the
realism?
hypothetical that he was going to lose every single game and
I
potentially
didn't.
only
I
get
know.
a
I
result
didn't. I
against.
told you we could probably
Listen,
beat these
midway
these
through the
these
season,
other
when
teams.
I had planned to do this after Man United. I was going to go back and check the receipts and see who said what about Pochettino's run of form and see how accurate we were, because I was going to bring that
I
back
told
up.
you that we against like teams which have don't have low block, we will probably perform better because we knew for Pochettino, if it's not a low block team, we'll actually do something. I predicted a 1-1 against Arsenal, for example.
I don't remember that.
Yeah,
But then again, I gotta go look back because I felt like I was the only one that said we could probably get results against the team that let us play.
No, like this is the problem. Like again, when we come back to it, bro, like him doing what this Yayo stuff wouldn't have mattered this season if all of us here agreed that this is a better season where we give this season for the players to develop. The problem is we are asking if ownership is asking for UCL football. As such, for me, it's not. If it's that's not going to happen under him, and his job's probably on the line. That's if you're being honest.
Listen, you think that, I think differently. I see where you're coming from. You see where I'm coming from.
You know what?
I think it could be either or. It's really a flip of the coin.
Tiebreaker. Oliver's our tiebreaker. What is Oliver?
Wait, before Oliver goes to the tiebreaker, again, to address you, Scooby, and listen, I'm glad that you're having this debate and conversation, not resulting to insult. This is exactly what we like on this channel. So by all means, man, big up to you. But do we live in a hypothetical world or in a realistic world? And I'm just going to say, you got fans like you lived in a hypothetical world because you guys, fans like you, anticipated losses and only losses, and with maybe a draw or a win in between for this run of form, and you've been proven wrong. So again, we don't know what's going to happen. I can live in a hypothetical too that we can get results, and then we're talking about a completely different story. I don't think we're going to get a string of 10 games, but I think we're going to get results. I don't think it's going to be losses going forward. I think at the end of the season, it's going to be a much better season than Potter. But is it going to be enough for UCL top four? No, that's not what happened. But
Oliver,
at the end of the season, is it going to be UCL top four? I don't think so. And I didn't predict that when we started the season either. So Oliver, do you think what do you think is likely to happen? We stick with Poch, or do you think he gets sacked by Christmas?
I think he can survive past Christmas, but there is a possibility he does get sacked in the season. I would not be surprised if he doesn't get the full season. So I'm kind of trying to sit on the fence here. But if you're asking me, no, he doesn't get sacked before Christmas.
Okay. What about in? Actually, it's hard to say if he gets sacked because we have to see how the results go, right? But I mean.
So I have this feeling they're going to try and give him the January window, and it's like what they did with Potter, where it's like, we're going to give you these signings, and if you can't even do anything with them, then okay, yeah, like we need to cut.
Okay, and then one last one to end the show. What happened? We lost most true in a couple. The hypothetical was, and let me pull up the schedule again. The hypothetical was that we were going to lose against Brighton in the Carabao Cup. Maybe get a win against Fulham. Maybe get a win against Burnley. Lose against Arsenal. Probably lose against Brentford or draw against Brentford. We weren't even going to be talking or entertaining Blackburn Rovers because we were going to get eliminated from Brighton, which we didn't. Lose against Tottenham. Lose against Man City. Lose against Newcastle. Am I incorrect in saying that? No, that was the hypothetical. What happened? We didn't lose against Tottenham. We drew against Tottenham. We didn't lose against Man City. We came back 3 times and drew against Man City. Best team in Europe. We did lose against Newcastle. We were supposed to win against Arsenal, but we didn't. We lost. We drew against them. I'm just saying, it's overall the bar was set really low, and we exceeded that bar.
That's the thing.
It's not good enough, but go ahead.
I think that's the main point. Like, all that means, what you just said there, is that we're 10th rather than 16th.
Yeah. Which again, we were thinking we were in relegation form prior to that Brighton game in the Carabao Cup, and it turns out we're not really in that relegation form. So again, the main this hypothetical thing is you guys do it too. And I don't mean you guys in the panel. I just mean people in the chat. Go ahead.
It's just the problem is like we've seen no evidence to suggest that it's going to change. Like we have, it's quite clear we've played enough games.
We said the same thing though. We said the same thing after Aston Villa.
No, but I'm talking about.
Remember?
Yeah. But I'm talking about we've seen no evidence that it's going to change beyond what we've already seen. We're going to perform well against the bigger teams, and we're going to struggle because we can't against the lesser teams because A, we can't break a low block down, and B, because the motivation just doesn't seem to be there compared to waking up for the big occasion of a derby or whatever it is. We need to see it to believe it. And you know, I know you brought up Reece James's apology yesterday. You brought up Thiago Silva's apology today. We just need to see it. Just cut the talk.
Yeah. I agree. And listen, there's no international breaks now. We're gonna see the results hard and fast. Pause. But like, I'm just saying, we will see who is right in the end. And we'll see what happens with this season. But I went into the season 5th place expectations. We'll see what happens, how we get there.
See that, man? No standards, man. You know what I mean? This guy's got no standards, guys. You know, so
hypotheticals or realistic, in the words of the great movie. Hypothetical world, realistic world. I live in a realistic world. I don't expect.
That's what they all say. They all say they live in realistic worlds too. They're not.
Listen, we'll see. Listen. Even if you guys are proven wrong, some of you guys are still gonna have criticisms, no matter what. Like some of you guys are just ain't no satisfying any of y'all. That's all I'm saying. I've noticed this, and this is what depresses me about the Chelsea fan base. So we'll see what happens. But hey, good discussion, good talk today. We're gonna go ahead and call it here. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't done so already, be sure to smash up the like button. Helps out with the algorithm. Big up to Staffy TV again for the raid. We do appreciate it. Go ahead and hit the subscribe too if you're new here, if you haven't been here before. It does help out. We're on our way to 3K. So help us get to 2.4, which we just hit 2.3. I would really appreciate it. Also, smash up the like buttons, smash up the bell notification I meant, because it does help out with you guys being notified whenever we do go live. Sometimes it's a little bit spontaneous, sometimes it's pretty organized, but for the most part, I try to be in a consistent schedule. I believe the next stream will be on Wednesday, so come by Wednesday, say what's up, and join us for a discussion. As always, check out the links in the description below for everyone's pages. We have Ahmed's YouTube channel, who's on his way to 1K. Hopefully,
guys, 708, man.
Soon.
7 guys, it's even 1K, guys.
He's very close, so help him out by subscribing to his channel. He does good content there with Chelsea YouTube content almost daily, pretty much, right, Ahmed? So daily content over there for you guys, short form videos as well. So check that out. You do live streams as well from time to time. So yeah, check that out. We have Flawless down there as well, and Sarcasm City. So that's another good channel for you guys to check out. Linktree for my links, my other content. Discord, which is a very active Discord. I would argue we probably have, outside the football terrace, we probably have the best Discord out there in football. All right, I'm just saying, I'm putting it out there. Prove me wrong, okay? So check out the Discord, check out the Twitter, all that fun stuff is there, or X, whatever you want to call it. And if you haven't done so already, leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think about today's discussion and today's channel, or today's show. And then last but not least, memberships. We have 4 different memberships starting at 99p. People who are proper casual and higher tiered members can get a shout out at the end of every show. And this is the shout out portion of the show. OG Turbo Jesus, Dark, Scott, Adrian, and Will. Big up to you guys for supporting at the proper casual tier and higher. And big up to everyone else in the chat for supporting us through membership as well. Starting at 99, so it's pretty affordable. Talk to me.
Scooby, the name of my channel is called The Bridge 258. I've written it in the comments for you as well, and it's literally in the screen too. So really helpful, mate. You know what I'm saying? Thank you very much.
It's in the description, so you guys can find it there. But big up to everyone. Big up to Ahmed. Big up to Oliver, Chris for joining us today. News has been a little slow, but let's see what happens.
You know what they say, Marshall?
After every bad result.
Hey, we still get 3 hours out of it, you know.
You know what they say, Marshall? Yeah. Slow and steady
gets you sacked. Oh, never mind. Okay. Well, that being said, guys, have a wonderful night. Stay casual. Peace.